number 5,
back here
Alex
at Fifth Third Park as we check out the starting lineups and the defense for the Clemson Tigers. Jaron Purify, the headliner over at second base, just the Energizer Bunny for this Tigers defensively and also offensively. He's back from injury, and a pretty similar starting lineup for the Clemson Tigers, as has been for the last few weeks after they got Purify back from injury. Check out the starting lineups as well on the other side. USC Upstate, the home team today. And they'll get Johnny Sweeney, who's been forced to DH most of the season. Well, he'll be out in the field. Nagging wrist injury, but he gets to play first base today. We'll pause here for the national anthem, and then we'll get first pitch underway.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
National anthem complete here at Fifth Third Park, home of the Texas Rangers High A affiliate, the Hub City Spartanburgers, as we get ready for the Spartans from USC Upstate and the Tigers just up the road, who have traveled well with all their fans here to Fifth Third Park, downtown Spartanburg. Here's the USC Upstate starting lineup, and this is a top 4 in the lineup, Luke, that have really gotten going. We mentioned the 6 wins in the last 7 games out for USC Upstate. 3 of the top 4 in there have really swung it well. Henry Zener, Tyler Lang, and Johnny Sweeney.
They really have. Upstate is really seeming to catch their stride right now at the right time, and they would love nothing more than to have Sweeney and Zener really get hot. That would really take them with a deep push in the postseason.
And then you see Wyatt Land gets the start here, although we do expect the fact that both teams will use several arms out of the bullpen, as is kind of the case a lot of times in college baseball midweek.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd love to see your starting pitchers make a deep run, but the reality is that, they're going to get beat up a little bit. So both teams want to see both starters, go deep into this game, but like you said, they are going to heavily rely on that bullpen tonight.
And it's such an important part for USC Upstate to get off to a good start. This is the second meeting between these two this year, and it was a disastrous first 2 innings for Upstate, who spotted Clemson 6 runs through the first 2 frames and just never really got a good shot the first time they faced the Tigers.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Upstate, they showed some fight in that game near the end. It was just those first few innings that really crippled them. So, if they can limit the damage and find outs and play their own game, they'll find themselves in a good spot.
They've been much better on the pitching side as of late, USC Upstate, and the offensive side after that 9-game losing streak that the loss to Clemson 7-2 was a part of. And now they've won 6 of the last 7. Let's see if they can get off to a good start against this Clemson side. And it doesn't take long to see the real offensive threat that Jaron Purify is as he bats leadoff for this Clemson Tigers side. Again, Clemson has really backed itself up against a wall here in the last week of the regular season when the postseason looks really pretty bleak in outlook as we're underway here at Fifth Third Park. A couple minutes behind at 6:08. It is a beautiful night for baseball between USC Upstate and Clemson. Weather at 72 degrees, sun is beaming down, not a cloud in the sky. Swing and a miss from Purify, who starts behind 0-2.
Yeah, you can't ask for a better night. You know, they're going to struggle with that shadow right there. The hitters, that is, you know, I think they'll try to fight through it here for the next inning or two. But you really can't have or ask for a much better night.
Talk about what that shadow and sunshine dynamic is like. You obviously caught for USC Upstate, Luke. You bat in conditions like this where pitchers in all sunlight, right? And you're in shade at the plate as Purify gets ready and takes inside on the breaking ball.
Yeah, as a hitter, even as a catcher, I mean, you have the advantage of knowing what's coming when you're catching. But as a hitter, you are put behind the 8-ball when that ball goes in and out of the sun into the shadows. So you really got to dial in and focus and really be disciplined in your strike zone and find your pitch to hit.
Purify straight into that cloudless sky at third base. Armsy puts it away. Had to wait an hour for that thing to come down.
And that was a good pitch right there by Land. You know, he got it up in the zone. He challenged Purify right there. Purify's an aggressive hitter. He is the lightning bolt to this team. I really liked what I saw right there. He went right after him and challenged him and got a good out in return.
And for Wyatt Land, who got off to a pretty rocky start to the year, getting ahead in counts, as it is for most pitchers, is such a critical part.
Absolutely. That's the name of the game.
He starts Nate Savoy with a strike looking. Fastball, slider, and changeup mix. Just got to look at the breaking ball. That slider from the right-hander can get up to the mid-90s with that heater. Wyatt Land, a guy that his head coach, Kane Sweeney, said before the year, this is our X factor for the pitching staff, and it didn't go so well to start the season, but he's really found his groove as of late. ERA dropping to sub-4 with a 1-1 record, and he falls behind 2-1 here on Nate Savoy, designated hitter. Both of the top 2 in the lineup for the Tigers hitting well above 300. Savoy one shy of the team lead in homers with 16 on his season for the sophomore from California. Drills a fastball back out of play. It would be a bit of a surprise if it turned into a home run contest here at Fifth Third Park. Dimensions just are not super favorable, especially for a righty-heavy lineup for Clemson. When you stare out at 408 and 411 to the gaps, that's not super fun as a hitter.
Yeah, and it is not a hitter's ballpark for sure. This is a pitcher's paradise. When you're on the field at field level, it looks twice as big as it does on TV. So, you know, both teams here need to focus on staying within themselves, using the dimensions of the field to their advantage, not trying to get too big. That's where you're going to get in trouble. You know, line drives, hard hit balls is what we want to focus on here.
Just missed on the fastball below the knees, and Savoy runs the count full. Doug Vines calling the balls and strikes back there. Matthew Saramelli is at first, Jose Polanco at second base, and Vincent Kreitzier, the umpires for you. He's over at third base. First full count for the right-hander Wyatt Land. And he walks Nate Savoy. as a catcher, were you more pitcher's ballpark friendly or hitter's ballpark friendly? Because as a catcher, a backstop, it's kind of both ways, right? You want to hit, but you also want your pitchers to do well.
You're right. No, it's a love-hate. A game like tonight, yeah, I would like it, especially going up against Clemson. You know, even though they're still trying to find their footing, they would love nothing more than to cap the season off on the right foot here and make a push in the ACC tournament. But, you know, on the other hand there, as a hitter, you like to hit some home runs now too. So nothing wrong with that.
Here is the home run leader for the Tigers, senior catcher who's been the starter the last 2 years for Clemson, Jacob Jarrell, with 17 bombs on the year. He stares at another slider top of the zone. From just down the road in Florence, South Carolina, one of a handful of P27 Academy products on this Tigers team, playing under head coach Eric Bakich.
Gerald just has that physical presence in the box. He looks like he's ready to go up there and do some damage. So you need to be careful here if you're Land. You know, pitch to your advantage here. Don't leave something too over the plate because he will turn on it.
It's been a good amount of breaking balls to start here for Gerald, trying to keep him off balance.
Good stop there by Lucas.
You're right. It's a bit of a scary presence to see that front arm just hanging out over the plate.
Yeah.
You try and bust him inside, you might hit him, right? You throw it outside half, and he might hit it out of here.
And that's what those hitters do. They got those big arm shields now. They're not afraid to stick their body out there and get a free bag. And I can't blame them. Got a runner.
Hitters count with the runner on the move. Does not matter. Back-to-back walks here from Land. It's not an easy top of the lineup for Clemson to face. A lot of the offensive production problems have come from the back half for the Tigers, but even with that, you got to throw strikes, right? You got to trust your stuff in a ballpark like this.
For sure. Land hadn't had too many innings this year. As you mentioned, Sweeney had hoped that you know, they would have gotten a little bit more production out of him. This is a good opportunity for him to take. A good opportunity to present his tools, you know, for his team and against Clemson here.
Has not pitched since a weekend and a half ago against Gardner-Webb when he went a season-long 2 2/3 innings. And he's right back to that slider, as has been the case early in counts, as he starts Luke Gaffney in the cleanup spot with a strike. That 2 2/3, the best outing of the year, didn't give up a hit, only walked one.
And he sports a nice batting average against his opponents, 204. You really can't ask for much more there. Respectable ERA. Let's see if he can get out of this.
Just a pretty slim, you know, list of starts and appearances to look at. He hasn't started a game. He's only pitched 13 games and 13 2/3 innings, as that's turned on foul toward the concourse here at Fifth Third Park, where some Tigers fans roam as they're still coming in the gates, lined up out there, and the cars are trying to get into the garage to park here, just an out into the ball game.
And that's something that the left fielders need to be aware of today too. You know, Upstate's played in this field a few more times than Clemson has. There's not much room for error on that left side of the field when you get into foul territory, so you need to be aware of your surroundings out there.
And you also look at that Chaser's Corner, as it's labeled here at Fifth Third Park. It's an angled wall down the line and left, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So for Wiley Waters out there for Upstate and Jack Crichton in the next half inning, you got to check out the bounces. Fish and a miss there from Luke Gaffney, who goes down on strikes for the second out here in the top of the first.
Excellent slider right there. You know, that's where you want it to be with 2 strikes, down and away. Try to make that batter chase, and that's exactly what happened there.
What have you seen from that breaking ball here in the first inning from Wyatt Land?
Definitely some opportunity to get more on top of it, to get a little bit more bite out of it. That last pitch was a perfect example of what he's shooting for.
Junior out of Bishop, Georgia at 6'3", 200, faces his first lefty, one of 3 in the lineup today for the Clemson Tigers, and Tristan McClatty.
talk about another guy with a presence about him in the box. He is just, he's built for power.
RBI machine that feels like he's found all the big moments this year for the Tigers.
Yeah.
But he falls behind quickly, 0-2 on a fastball on the outside corner.
Land needs to be careful here. We're looking to expand the zone a little bit. Do not put something over the plate. McCladley will turn on it. He wants to try to get him to chase here.
Trying to strand a pair
like
as
that.
that's rolled off the glove of the first baseman, Sweeney. It will score a run at least. Gerald gets a late stop sign at third base. It's an RBI double in the first from Tristan McCladdy. He's just one shy of the team lead on his 45th ribby of the season to put the Tigers on the board before Upstate bats.
And kind of spoke that one into existence a little bit there. McCladdy did an excellent job turning on that and staying within himself, not trying to get too big there. You know, if you're Land, you really want to try to expand the zone, get something off the plate, potentially get McCladdy to chase a ball. Unfortunate pitch right there, but excellent piece of hitting by McCladdy.
So now 2 in scoring position for Jack Crichton, who offers at a first pitch fastball for strike 1. There is plenty of purple and orange that is filled in here to Fifth Third Park in downtown Spartanburg that is happy to see that early offense from their Clemson Tigers. Tigers fell behind the 8 ball on Sunday, desperately needing a series win against Florida State as ACC play has gone really horribly wrong for Clemson compared to expectations. And a lot of momentum has found this Tigers clubhouse over the last 2 weeks. Got a series win over a then-ranked Boston College team. Got a road midweek win over a ranked and probably regional hosting Coastal Carolina team. And then in a rubber match against a probably regional hosting Florida State side, could not come back after an early deficit, losing 6-3 Sunday. Deep fly ball to left from Crichton, but the park holds it and Waters secures the final out here in the top of the first. So a little 2-out damage against Wyatt Land from Tristan McCladdy, who gets Clemson on the board. We'll see the Upstate bats for the first time after this when we come back here at Fifth Third Park. Great crowd here at Fifth Third Park as we get set for the bottom of the first. And a good first look at the right-handed freshman, 6'5", 215, Dylan Harrison gets the start today. Again, on both sides, we expect a heavy usage of the bullpen. Recruited as a two-way guy, though, Harrison comes in to start here against USC Upstate. He makes his first appearance since midweek last week. He came out of the bullpen in the win over Coastal Carolina. pitched a scoreless inning. And today he makes start number 5 of his Clemson career. He'll face a top of the lineup for Upstate that is really rolling over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, Harrison is a imposing presence, 6'5", heavy use of the fastball, athletic, that being a two-way. Looking forward to seeing what he has to offer this game.
Another California kid coming here to Clemson, South Carolina. He'll start with the lefty, Henry Zehner. Kind of first pitch strike with that heater in the low to mid-90s for the right-hander. Recruited as both an infielder and a right-handed pitcher. He's only had 2 ABs this year at the plate, but talking with Coach Bakich, he expects that we'll see more of that offense from the pitcher today, Harrison, in years to come. Kind of gets some good defense at second base from Jaron Purify for the first out.
Right on cue. There's Purify making a athletic play. He's a lightning bolt. He gets this Clemson team going, and as you mentioned, when he came back for the Boston College series, it showed. The energy was with them, and they had a good series against them. Excellent play there.
Anyone that knows Clemson baseball is aware of the presence that their second baseman, Jaron Purify, brings, but you talk to Coach Bakich, and it's just like you can't replace it, right? What he does for this offense, for this team, energy-wise, production-wise, defensively, there's just no second man up, right, that can bring what he brings to the Tigers.
Absolutely. Each team has to have one of those guys because it's a long season, right? You know, the days can be a little grueling. It can be a grind. You got to have those guys in your dugout that can keep the rest of the team, the rest of the energy up and going to be successful throughout the season.
Speaking of filling in a role, guy at the plate, Malloy Hageney has done a good job for Upstate this year, filling the void that was left by Vance Sheehan, last year's starter at short, who transferred to Miami.
He really has.
Bounces one back up the middle, and Purify on the jump throw offers late and just about threw it into the dugout. After that scramble drill, Tigers fortunate that it found the netting protecting the Upstate dugout, and so it stays with just an infield single for Hageney, 1 out here in the bottom of the first.
Just an impressive job to get to that ball. I really thought that was going to find its way up the middle, but Purify makes another athletic play. Did his best Derek Jeter impression there. Didn't quite pay off. Still, though, limited the damage. Got lucky with the backstop there. Could have been 2.
You're always going to think as a middle infielder that you can make the play, right? It's really tough to coach those guys into eating those baseballs.
Yeah, you got to have the highlight play.
Laying in the air, shallow right field. Let's see if Purify's the guy to call this one off, and he is from second base to set aside out number 2. So with 1 on and 2 outs, Johnny Sweeney, brother of head coach Kane Sweeney, gets his first crack here at Fifth Third Park in 2026. First ever visit here to the home of the Hub City Spartanburgers for the Clemson Tigers. Spartans have played here a couple of times. Once last year against Wofford, already once this year when they beat the Terriers, but Sweeney did not play in that game. He was dealing with a nagging wrist injury, which has really bothered his whole senior 5th-year season. But he's fought through it. He's been the DH most of the season. Today he gets the start at first base, though.
Yeah, Sweeney coming in as a preseason All-American. Great hitter, pure hitter. Just all around can really spray the ball to all sides of the fields here. Hasn't been the year that he's looked for, but he is starting to catch fire a little bit, and, you know, you really want it at this time of the year.
Average numbers haven't been nearly as good as they were last year as he bounces that one foul off his foot. And he falls behind 0-2 as Harrison's a strike away from a scoreless first. But the home run numbers are still there. Leads the team, double-digit blasts. He's got plenty of power in that left-handed swing. And you can definitely have an easier time getting one out of here as a lefty to the bullpens in right than you can as a right-hander.
Absolutely.
Again, they check in on Hageney over at first base. He's a threat to steal, leads the team, 18 of 21 on the season.
Look for a breaking ball in the dirt here. 2 strikes. Hageney might be on the move if he sees one down.
On the move on release on a breaking ball high. And he's got second base into scoring position. Has a potential tying run here in the first.
And, you know, kind of the same thing. Harrison, we really don't want him to catch too much of this plate here. He's still, you know, way ahead in the count here. He has some room that he can play around with.
He goes to the breaking ball, and it's smoked to right. Base hit for Johnny Sweeney, and it ties the game here for Upstate in the first.
Excellent piece of hitting. Looked like Harrison maybe served up a slider, possibly change up something off speed there. Sweeney stayed within himself and put a nice swing on it.
And now that's twice, once on either side, right, where with 2 outs, they've gotten ahead in counts, and hanging breaking balls have come back to bite both starters here for a run in the first.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not disciplined enough, those can really hurt you. As a player, it's frustrating. As a coach, it can definitely be frustrating. I remember my fair share of my head coaches and pitching coaches getting into our pitchers about it. But, you know, you're that far ahead in the count, you want to try to get that batter to chase. These are some good hitters, and they'll do some damage.
Purified sets down Bentley. And after the RBI base hit to tie the game by Johnny Sweeney, just a couple more pitches from Dylan Harrison needed to end the bottom of the first. Tied at 1, Tigers and Spartans through 1.
Shapes and sizes. At First Citizens Bank, we roll with your goals because we're built for what you're building. Fit for your ambition. First Citizens Bank.
After 5 years of military service, Staff Sergeant Zaragoza is still setting goals.
Come on, Vincent.
But mostly for her son.
You got this.
She was ready for more family time. She was ready for the reserve.
Goals don't always fit inside the box. At First Citizens Bank, they don't have to. We have solutions for ambition.
Numbers for the right-hander Bianchini on the year for USC Upstate. Comes in a 1-2 record in 31 innings pitched with an 8.04 earned run average. But much better first inning for USC Upstate than the first time they faced Clemson. Gave up 3 runs that time and just the 1 run on a 2-out base knock allowed by Wyatt Land. Bottom of the order here in the second inning for the Tigers as Lichtenberger digs in. Shortstop hitting .262 this year for Clemson. Third baseman Jake Armsey in expecting a bunt, instead fouled off to the backstop on the first pitch from Bianchini. This is the part of the order where Clemson from time to time likes to play a little small ball. They like to move guys over and get runs in with their speed on the base paths.
Yeah, and if you can put pressure on the defense and put them out of position that they're normally not used to being in, you can really put yourself in an advantage. So I wouldn't be surprised if Lichtenberg tried to lay something down here. Not with 2 strikes, though.
Right. And I would expect for you as a player back in the day and for these guys, right, even though USC Upstate has played a game here this year, Clemson has not. Bouncer over to short for Hagening. And he sets down Lichtenberger on the 6-3 putout. But new environment, right? Incredibly big outfield for the outfielders to cover. There's got to be a lot of value in putting the ball in play in a place away for home for both teams and making the defense really do the work.
Absolutely. I mean, a huge outfield like that, you want to spray the ball. You want to try to hit it backside. Line drives is what you're looking for. You get it past these outfielders, you're going to be running for days. It goes back to, trying not to get too big and get out of your technique as a hitter. Stay within yourself.
Fultz with a healthy cut at 95 from Bianchini.
And Bianchini, he's ate some innings for this Upstate team this year. Been solid as far as being a reliable resource to get out there on the mound for games such as this. Great pitch right there. Went right at him.
Fultz punches out. That was kind of the story of his game the first time these two met this season, as he struck out 3 times in the win 7-2 against USC Upstate back in April. It's a little bit hotter stuff here out of the bullpen from Bianchini, 95, 96 compared to the low 90s that we saw from Land back in the first. Check swing foul ball from the lefty Jackson Moore in the 9-hole.
And Bianchini's going right at him here. He's challenging them with the fastballs, kind of putting Clemson on their heels here this inning and really making them work for it.
Just game number 20 on the year for Moore here in the 9-hole. Hartsville, South Carolina native. Lefty out of Hartsville High School. Comes in hitting .267 in those 9 games.
I believe that's where Cam Canarello was from, if I'm not mistaken.
A guy that Eric Backage compared to Jaron Purify in what he brought in terms of heart and hustle. In foul territory, Armsy puts it away. And it's a well-worked 1-2-3, top of the second, out of the bullpen for Bianchini. Tied at 1 halfway through 2 here between USC Upstate and Clemson. USC Upstate softball team getting recognized in between innings here at Fifth Third Park. They just took the Big South tournament title for the 3rd straight season, something that both of these teams are hoping to do, win the conference tournament, and probably something both of these teams need to do if they want to punch a ticket to the NCAA tournament like the Spartans softball team. Upstate and Clemson, both tournament teams a year ago, played in the Clemson Regional. Clemson was the number 11 national seed. USC Upstate winners of the Big South regular season and conference tournament title in the first year under head coach Kane Sweeney. Took them to their first NCAA tournament. And the Spartans really put up a good fight in their 2 games in the NCAA tournament against Clemson and then against Kentucky.
Yeah, what a great opportunity for Upstate to get their foot in the door in postseason play, and especially in a nearby, competitive team such as Clemson. They really, like you said, they did put up a good fight. It didn't fall their way, but they can't hang their heads about the season they had last year. It was great to watch.
Dylan Harrison starts with a strike against Jake Armsey in a tie game at 1. And then on the Clemson side, expectations again to host a regional this year, and it just hasn't worked out as a leadoff base runner on the hit by pitch.
And Armsey, he's a glue guy for Upstate. Been with Upstate for a while now. Veteran. A lot of the young guys look up to him. A lot of them would say that he's the leader of the team. So
on a team that's just loaded with transfers, right? That's kind of how Kane Sweeney has rebuilt in his 2 years at the helm of the Spartans, is through the portal. That's not one of the transfers on this team. 5th-year senior, as they check the swing and say no swing on catcher Preston Lucas. But for Clemson, even if they were to run the table and win out in the regular season and advance far in the ACC tournament, still might not be enough, as Tristan McClatty flashes the wheels in a vast outfield here at Fifth Third Park for the first out off the bat of Preston Lucas. So I think most Clemson fans and most of the guys in that third base dugout would say our sights are set on winning the ACC tournament as our path forward to the NCAA tournament this year.
For sure. And, you know, who knows? Once you get into that postseason play, anything can happen. Even if it is single elimination ACC, it is wide open. So, again, it all falls back to, are you getting hot at the right time? And Clemson, they have the talent. They've been very competitive in certain games. A lot of games they'd like to have back. But the talent's there. If they can put it together and play fundamental baseball, they'll be in a good spot.
Change the format, as you alluded to, in the ACC tournament. That's been very set on pool play for forever. But this year, they'll do things a little different. Coming into the final week of the regular season, Clemson in a tie for last place in the ACC at 9-18 in conference, along with Duke. A couple of teams that proved themselves last year, making it to the NCAA tournament. Clemson as a regional host. Blue Devils hosted a super regional.
And that just goes to show that each year is very different. You know, just because you're killing it last year doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have the same results this year.
Hard hit up the middle by Wiley Waters, and first to third for Armsey. And Upstate's got him at the corners and out here in the bottom of the second.
And that's what you look for. Balls hit right back up the middle. We alluded to a huge outfield out there. Great piece of hitting. Stayed within himself and punched it right through where it came from.
So one out against Dylan Harrison, bottom of the lineup. 9-hole hitter Alex Ritzer has a chance to give USC Upstate its first lead of the night. That's something that a lot of mid-majors would tell you, but Kane Sweeney really stressed. In a year where they've played such a challenging out-of-conference schedule, they just haven't given themselves many chances because they've fallen behind early in almost all of those games.
Yeah. A lot of good teams they've played this year.
And here's the small ball for you. Push bunt by Ritzer, and he's safe at first. Glove flip gets away from Gaffney. It sends Waters over to third base, and Upstate's in front on the small ball in the second.
Love to see it. Love when you can execute a bunt like that, a push bunt. It catches the defense off guard right there, and it paid off, paid dividends for him there.
So walk us through. He put that baseball essentially right where he could have walked out and placed it where he wanted it to, right? That's exactly how you draw up that push ball.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Harrison's fallen to that side of the field, but it was hit hard enough just to get past him, kind of in that no man's land right there, to where it made it difficult for the defense to try to get Ritzer out. And he's got wheels too.
Went for the glove flip there on the right side of the infield from Gaffney, but unsuccessful, and it turns out to give an extra 90 feet as well to Wiley Waters, going first to third on the play. Tigers come to visit Dylan Harrison here in his second inning of work. Officially ruled a bunt single, and then the throwing error as well moves Waters over to third base.
And here's an opportunity for Upstate to cash in an easy run right here. Huge outfield, try to elevate something to get it to the outfield to bring Waters in. That's a hitter's dream. Easy RBIs.
Henry Zener, this redshirt sophomore at the top of the order from the left side for Upstate. Second time through for the starter Harrison. And Zener coming off a great weekend in the win for Upstate on Sunday against Presbyterian. 13-4 win to take the series on the road. First road series win for USC Upstate on the season. And 5 ribbies in that victory on Sunday for Henry Zener. He drives one through the right side and tacks on here in the second for Upstate. Spartans have a 3-1 lead on another RBI from Henry Zener.
Clemson was playing the shift on him. They pitched him inside right there. Really nice job of pulling his hands in to get the barrel on the ball and shoot it to right field. And they find themselves in another opportunity to have guys in scoring position to cash in more runs.
And that bottom of the order as well, setting up the big RBI guys at the top of the order for success here. As Zener came up with 2 guys on, and Malloy Haganey does the same thing. He scored the first run back in the first for USC Upstate, who after giving up 1 in the top of the first has scored 3 unanswered now against Clemson.
If I'm Harrison right now, I'm trying
to do that, right?
I'm trying to throw off speed here and get these hitters on their front foot. They are just peppering these balls at will. That's
a fastball, and Harrison was not looking for that result, but Malloy Haganey was, as he drives in another on the RBI double, and almost all of the contact coming against that heater from Harrison.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Upstate hitters have a clear plan of their attacking the fastball early. So if I'm Harrison, I'm really trying to make an adjustment here, maybe link up with Gerald and try to really feed some change-ups, some off-speed, and looks like Gerald's going to go on for a mound visit here.
Veteran catcher going to visit the underclassman starter for Clemson, who's gotten tagged for 3 runs here in the bottom of the second so far, and finish line of the second inning is not really within sight right now.
And that's a nice job by Gerald. I think that comes with playing, obviously, but a veteran such as himself to have a feel of the game, to know when your pitcher may need to take a breath, regather himself, and dial that focus back in here to potentially break that momentum for Upstate.
And we already saw Jimmy Bellinger, the pitching coach, go out there in this inning, and so for the second visit here of the second inning, it all relies on the players on the field.
Yeah.
And that catcher Jacob Gerald to start it. With 2 in scoring position for Tyler Lang.
If I'm Lang here, I'm trying to shoot something backside to purify. Even try to get something into the outfield here. Easy RBIs. You got to have these runs for Clemson. I mean, no lead is safe when you're playing a Power 4 team.
Infield is in for the Tigers at the corners, and a hitter's count for Lang. Lang ropes it backside to the gap in right. Moore's under it. He's got it, but Zener tags from third. It is 5-1 Upstate in the second over Clemson.
It's a good piece of hitting there. Put it straight into right center. Gave the man on third an opportunity to tag up and score. Really nice.
That first base dugout is feeling it right now. You see the hug for Henry Zener after he drove in one with the single. Comes all the way around to score. And that does it. 2 outs into the second on the day for Dylan Harrison. Eric Bakich comes out to the mound. He'll make the call to the bullpen here for the Tigers eventually. But after a first inning in which Harrison couldn't get the final out before giving up the first run to USC Upstate, second inning has just not gone his way, and a lot of hard-hit baseballs from USC Upstate.
It has, yeah. And that could be a combination of two things. Harrison may have been catching too much of the plate there, but Upstate is clearly in attack mode. They're not playing conservative. They see the opponent at hand here, and they're trying to take advantage. So
the first call to the bullpen today for the Clemson Tigers comes here in the second inning. They'll go get Talon Bell, and we'll tell you more about the new reliever for the Tigers, trailing by 4 in the second when we come back here at Fifth Third Park. New pitcher into the game for the Clemson Tigers. And Clemson has started off behind USC Upstate. 4 runs in the second inning have forced the end of the day of starter Dylan Harrison. And here's the left-hander Talon Bell coming into the game for Clemson. He's mixed in between a starting and a reliever role this year. 17 appearances and 8 of them as a starter for the Clemson Tigers. Comes in 9.28 earned run average, 21 innings pitched after he was the team's newcomer of the year a season ago. And he'll enter with 2 outs in the bottom of the second, but another runner still in scoring position for USC Upstate. And one of the hottest bats in the lineup, Johnny Sweeney, will be the first he faces. Sweeney drove in the first Upstate run back in the first, which tied the game after Clemson got the scoring started top of the first inning on a 2-out double from Tristan McClatty. And since then, it has been all Spartans in the bottom of the first and now the second inning. Sweeney takes inside, and that's off the mitt of Gerald to the backstop. And so Hagan, he goes all the way to third base on the passed ball. Didn't seem like much wrong with that fastball, but
I was going to say a mix-up, but I think he may have just missed it, which, it happens from time to time. You got to get that release point recognized with a new pitcher here, so look to clean it up here. A good time to bring Bell in here against Sweeney with the lefty-lefty matchup.
A guy that can give you some extended relief here out of the bullpen as they go left on left, but it doesn't start well for Bell as he's out of the zone on the first 3 that he's thrown in his day. Last time out, he went 2 innings against USC Upstate back in April. And he gets a first called strike to stay in the battle with Sweeney.
Bell needs to be careful here. Obviously, he's looking for a strike, but he don't want to catch too much of the plate. Sweeney's hoping for the complete opposite. He's hoping he catches it. Nice. Good pitch.
Outside corner with the fastball. Two-way guy, Talon Bell, also plays the outfield for Clemson. He's made a few appearances here over the last month for the Tigers in the field. But now he's back on the mound for the first time in a few weeks. And his 3-2 is outside, ball 4. Did all the work to get back in the battle with Sweeney, but he loses them. And Upstate will bring all 9 to the plate here in the home half of the second. Coach Sweeney talked about putting the pressure on the Power 4 team, which they have not done in tough non-con matchups, a weekend series at Texas. They played South Carolina, they played Georgia, the regular season SEC champs. They played Tennessee. And here in their second matchup with the Tigers of the season, a dream start for USC Upstate, who has put all the pressure on Clemson just 2 innings in.
It's a lot easier said than done, and what Upstate's doing is pretty impressive. A lot of times, smaller school, mid-major schools will play the team with the mascot across their chest rather than the players that are wearing the jersey. So it can kind of psych them out and kind of put them behind the 8 ball before the game even starts. So, credit to Upstate to coming out in attack mode and trying to build off each at bat.
Coach Bakich referred to it as their warrior dial for Clemson, and you automatically bring that to your ACC games, but he said you got to turn that dial up sometimes in the midweek.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, Power 4 schools such as this, they have a bullseye on their back every single midweek game. These, the mid-major schools, this is their time to take down Goliath. So, yeah, you have to be on your game at all times.
Delayed steal moved Sweeney into scoring position. Clemson had a chance to throw down if they wanted to, but elected not to. I think Upstate was okay to get into the pickle play, and Clemson just denied that and gave second base to Sweeney on the stolen bag. Now a 2-2 count to the 9th hitter of the inning, Trey Bentley. Bentley cuts at a high fastball and goes down swinging. So Bell limits the damage to 4 in the second for the Spartans, but USC Upstate in front 5-1 on Clemson through 2. Beautiful scene as the sun begins to set back behind Fifth Third Park and the big neon Spartanburg sign atop of the roof. You see some of the construction, a part of this renovation project here in downtown Spartanburg. $450 million total project here in the downtown area of Spartanburg, South Carolina. And USC Upstate, one of the 2 colleges here in town, along with Wofford at the D1 level. Coming over to Fifth Third Park, home of the Texas Rangers High A affiliate, the Hub City Spartanburgers, as they battle with the Clemson Tigers for the second time this season. And it is Upstate in front by 4 through 2. Top of the lineup here in the third with Purify for Clemson. And the second inning of work starts with a strike from Max Bianchini.
And the first at bat, they went straight at Purify, elevated fastballs. Be interested to see if they adjust that game plan here or continue to attack that.
Purify chases after that sharp breaking ball down and away. And he finds himself down in the count for his second straight AB to start the day. Purify, who's scored runs in 6 straight games for Clemson, as they get a pitch clock violation, and he's called out.
Oh, wow.
Did not get into the box soon enough before the 0-2 pitch, and Eric Bakich will come have a chat with the home plate umpire, Doug Vines, who rings up Purify for the first out here in the third, and Purify wants to be a part of that chat.
Yeah, that's something you don't see too often. Especially in a 2-0 count or a 0-2 count, that really kills any momentum that Clemson may have had leading off this inning here. Unfortunate for Purify.
Pitch clocks are visible for both the pitcher and the batter. Just to the left of the batter's eye and straightaway center is a big pitch clock for the hitters to see, and right behind the mounds, behind home plate, just to the right of home plate and batter's circle is a pitch clock for the pitcher to see. And Eric Bakich still continuing to talk to Doug Vines about that strikeout on an automatic K for Max Bianchini, who will now keep tossing warm-up tosses as Bakich continues that conversation. We do have pitch clocks, we do have replay and challenges in play here in tonight's game, and Bakich gets the explanation from Vines, and now Nate Savoy will have to bat after the called strikeout on the pitch clock violation on Purify with 1 out and nobody on. Purify came in with hits in 5 straight games, but he's 0 for 2 with a pop-up and now a strikeout. Savoy loops it, shallow center. Here comes Bentley, and he's got it on the full glide for the second out. It's interesting to see where both teams position their outfielders with so much room out there. We mentioned the dimensions, 408 and 411 to the gaps. You either concede the bloop singles, right? Or you live with, okay, guys can drive it over our outfielders' heads for doubles and triples.
Yeah, and I think that's probably where a lot of the pregame batting practice comes into play. The outfielders kind of get a feel of where they can gauge the distance of the ball best, what can get past them, what can get in front of them. So I feel like it's potentially more of a feel than a strict positioning. Now, that's not to say that if you got a certain batter up that's strictly poolside or oppo, you're going to move your guys, but for the most part, it looks like they're kind of cutting the outfield in half here.
What was that when you were a player experience like when you get to a new ballpark, right? What were some of the things that you guys would do to figure out the ways that you wanted to play?
So as a catcher, the first thing I would do would look at the backstop just to get a feel of the distance behind me, the dimensions of it. A lot of ballparks are very have a lot of angles.
Yep.
Then you have some that are just very much well-rounded around the backstop. So really just trying to get a feel of how much distance is behind you, what kind of damage can be done if a ball gets behind you. That way you can kind of have your eyes set on where that runner might be when you gather that ball.
First base runner against Bianchini comes on a 4-pitch walk to Jacob Jarrell with 2 outs here in the third, and Upstate pitching with a 4-run lead on Clemson.
If I'm Clemson here, I'm trying to run pitch counts up. I want to see these pitchers work for it. I don't want quick innings for Upstate. We want to try to get into Upstate's bullpen as quick as possible. So seeing pitches, being selective on what pitch you swing at is going to be key here.
And part of that goes back to the, kind of routine of a bullpen game, right? We saw the starter Wyatt Land out after just the first inning, in which he gave up a run for Upstate on the mound. And so if you can get to 6, 7, 8 deep in the bullpen, right, the better chance you have at finding one you like and one that you can really attack.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, you're going to run into some bullpen arm that just, for whatever reason, it just clicks. You just pick up that ball out of the guy's hand. So, whoever that person might be, they're trying to get to him and get to him fast.
Finally a strike after 6 straight out of the zone here from Bianchini. Shift is on for the right-hander Gaffney. Big hole through that right side, especially with Sweeney holding on the runner at first base.
And if I'm being Bianchini, I'm wanting Luke Gaffney. This is my guy right here to close out the inning. I do not want 2 guys on with McClatty coming up.
Purdue transfer here, Gaffney. Hitting .322 for the Tigers, trying to keep the 3rd inning going for Clemson as he finds a hole up the middle, and he'll keep the train going for McClatty.
And that's exactly what you want from Clemson. Just find a way to get it to the guy behind you, keep the train moving, station to station. That can be death by 1,000 paper cuts, but it works. Good piece of hitting there.
So McClatty, who drove in the only run of the night so far for Clemson in the first. Harlem, Georgia native and Harlem High School product. Junior here for Clemson. Chokes up on the barrel and tries to drive in another. And he rips it down the right field line, but foul. Got the barrel out in front of 94 on the inside corner.
Yeah, kind of same with the right field side of the ballpark. There's not too much room for error in foul territory. So as a hitter, you got to make sure you get your hands inside to keep that ball as straight as possible.
And the sun will continue to cause problems out there in the outfield as well, as it has gone away from casting shadows on the infield. It's pretty much all shade here on the infield, and certainly from pitcher to batter, but outfield still cast in all sunlight as it's rolled foul off the bat of McClatty, who's down to his final strike.
Yeah, I got to feel bad for the first baseman and second baseman in this situation. A hard hit ball by McClatty is going to catch up to him quickly. So I hope they got the shades on over there.
He probably didn't have to deal with the shades as a catcher much.
Not too much. Occasionally when I'd play first base, I'd throw them on. South Carolina was really bad at this time of night. The sun was just really bad with the way their ballpark's set up, so I'd always have to wear shades there if I was playing first. But yeah, luckily catcher, you don't have to worry about that too much.
Did you ever have to do the fingernail painting?
Fingernail painting? I don't believe so.
Hard hit baseball, wow. Diving stop at second by Ritzer. He throws out McClatty, takes away an RBI, base hit, and keeps Upstate in front by 4. They are hitting the ball hard, and they are flashing the leather in the field as well. Spartans are off on the front foot here against the Tigers halfway through 3. A 5-1 lead for USC Upstate.
Exoskeletons that allows them to stand up and walk again. The South Carolina Educational Lottery allowed me to get an education and then use it as a springboard in really launching my organization. It all kind of connects back to making life a little bit easier for people.
More accessibility means a better South Carolina, and a better South Carolina means a better you.
At Founders Federal Credit Union, we know success is a team effort. We're always cheering for you, side by side, so you can dream big and achieve your goals. Offering products and services that put you in the lead, whether that's helping you buy a car, build your savings, or supporting your community. We're here with the financial support you need. That's teamwork. Score big with Founders Federal Credit Union. Relax with Founders.
Five to 1. We say hello from the broadcast booth here at Fifth Third Park. Andrew Selliver with the former Upstate catcher Luke Weber. Luke, it's been the start you kind of dream about if you're USC Upstate so far through 2.5 against Clemson as they try and pull the upset here in the final midweek of the regular season.
Yeah, if you're Upstate, the key here is don't get complacent. Clemson's a very good team. They have all the talent in the world. Once you get complacent, things can kind of go south for you. So if I'm Upstate here, I'm trying to continue to put the ball in play, make the defense work, and capitalize on opportunities where we have guys in scoring position.
Kids are out here at the ballpark. Great chance for Clemson fans across the state of South Carolina to come catch their Tigers. I know Clemson has intentionally scheduled a little bit to kind of do a tour of South Carolina. Last midweek they were in Conway to take on Coastal. Played some neutral site games as well. Myrtle Beach, Charleston, here in Spartanburg.
Yeah, I told my oldest son, he's a diehard Clemson fan, and I texted my wife just a minute ago. I said, it's not too late to root for Upstate if I'm down. So we'll see if his tune changes by the end of the night.
Can't be switching hats in the middle of the game down there. It's been a good start, though, for the Spartans, up 5-1. Trying to tack on here in the third. As Bell's still in there, left-hander came in to get the final out of the bottom of the second. Just as things kicked off here in the second, it's also Armsy, Lucas, and Waters due up here in the third after Upstate sent 9 to the plate and brought 4 runs in the second inning. Cut and a miss on a first punch out of the day here for Bell.
Elevated in the zone, got his eyesight up. Those balls are really hard to lay off of as a hitter. Your eyes just get so big and you think you can just hit it, and before you know it, it's past you. So good pitch right there.
After the walk to start, back-to-back set down from the left-hander who works from the windup and gets a chopper foul by Preston Lucas. Lucas makes the start behind the dish today for Upstate after he's had to move out to left field some this year. Takes 4 ball 1. Upstate has been trying to get their big offensive bats in the lineup every night with Lucas and Tyler Lang, Johnny Sweeney. But with the injury to Johnny Sweeney, he's had to be the DH most of the time. So your 2 catchers in Lang and Lucas, right? You can't play them both at catcher and DH as they are doing tonight, with Sweeney making one of his rare starts out in the field at first base. So they've moved Lucas out to left field a lot throughout the course of conference play this season to keep him in the lineup.
Yeah, no doubt. And he's held his own out there. A lot of times when you are hot at the plate, and as of the rest of the team, you got to find a way to get guys in the lineup. And, you know, it's beneficial to have that mindset to be open to play in any position, not just armbar yourself into one spot on the field.
Lucas hits it straight at the shifted third baseman Fultz. And he throws it off the bag, did not get the tag from Gaffney, and Lucas aboard with 1 out in the third.
Might have a challenge here. Look close from up here, but let's see if they take it to replay. Hard to tell.
No challenge signal from the Tigers. That throw just pulling the first baseman Gaffney off the line and off the bag. Couldn't get that slap tag onto the back of Lucas. So he's aboard with 1 out, and here's Wiley Waters in the 8-hole. Swing and a miss at a first pitch fastball. Canadian, one of the many transfers on this team, Wiley Waters out of Vancouver. Spent a year at South Mountain Community College in Arizona, and now his second season playing for the Spartans.
Waters has also been a mainstay here along with Armsy. Guys that haven't hit that portal have stayed committed to Upstate, and I think it's really paid dividends for him.
A couple of guys that did hit the portal after that regional team from a year ago. That's one of the things that the added publicity, right, of your roster by making the NCAA tournament will do. As a mid-major, you go win your conference tournament, you go play hard in a regional, and perhaps one or two more guys that you thought you were going to have back are all of a sudden at new places next year.
Yeah, it's the nature of the beast now. I mean, you go and showcase your talents in a regional, put your skills on display on a national level, and teams will come looking for you. And you can't blame the other kids for taking that opportunity to go play elsewhere. So
another strikeout on a fastball elevated from Bell for the second out here in the third. One of those guys that they were hoping to have back was Scott Newman out in center field.
Yeah.
He transferred to Georgia, and so we've seen a lot more playing time for Trey Bentley out there in center field this year for Upstate.
Yeah, Scott was a great outfielder, great piece for Upstate last year, and then I believe you mentioned Sheehan earlier in the game.
Yeah.
He's held his own at Miami as well. So, just goes to show you that even if you are at the mid-major level, the talent level's there. It's just a matter of getting exposed to these power conference teams. It's a good piece of hitting from Ritzer.
Right by the pulled-in third baseman Foltz, who was playing on the grass and just did not have time to get down to that. Opposite field base hit from the 9-hole hitter, who is 2 for 2 with a bunt single and now a slap hit the other way.
Can't ask for it. Sometimes it just falls your way some nights. Excellent bunt first time around for Ritzer. Nice piece of hitting there. Didn't do too much. Just put the barrel on the ball and hit it where they ain't. That was nice.
And now for the second straight inning, Upstate has turned the lineup over to Henry Zener and gives him a crack with 2 more on the pond. Left-hander takes a called strike. Painted up. Outside corner with that fastball.
Looks like Lichtenberg might be playing a little up the middle here. May want to try to shoot something backside.
Instead pulled on the ground on 3 hops for Purify. And a scoreless third inning for Talon Bell. First full inning for the left-hander out of the bullpen. He strands a pair after the error and the single from Ritzer. And through 3, it stays a 5-1 lead for the Spartans from USC Upstate. Work to do in that Clemson dugout, trailing USC Upstate 5-1 as we go to the top of the 4th. Tigers searching for some offense, held off the board after 1 run in the first inning. And USC Upstate makes another call to the bullpen. Day is done for the starter, Max Bianchini. And Upstate will turn things over to the lefty, Jack Gibson, coming in a 3.52 earned run average in 15 1/3 innings pitched. You talked to both head coaches. I think both were aware that we would see maybe a dozen or more combined arms across the side here on this Tuesday afternoon into evening in Spartanburg, South Carolina. And the third of the day takes over for Bianchini, who pitched well. 2 scoreless innings.
Yeah, for Upstate, you'd love to have Bianchini going a little bit more. Obviously, they have a plan in place to turn things over. On the flip side, I think Clemson's going to be glad to see a new arm out there for them.
After they get the starter Wyatt Land for their only run in the first inning. 6, 7, 8 here for the Tigers in the fourth, who have been great outside of ACC play this year.
Yeah.
But they're behind here going to the fourth by 4. Real problems this season for Clemson, who has not lived up to expectations in the preseason, have come in ACC play. Coming into the night at 30-22, outside looking in of the NCAA tournament. More than likely, what is needed is a win in the ACC tournament to get the automatic qualifier for Clemson at this point after losing this weekend series to Florida State. But 30-22, and you look down and it's 21-4 outside of conference play and tied for worst 9-18 in the ACC. They just have not been able to buy weekend series in the conference.
Yeah, it's been a tough go for Clemson. Good play.
Comebacker right to Gibson, and he snags it and takes care of the first out himself.
But yeah, I mean, going back to Clemson, I think kind of stating the obvious here, right? They want to play complementary baseball, fundamental baseball. It sounds cliche, but you know, how many games have they been within striking distance to pull out? And it just hasn't fallen their way this year. You know, I think Coach Bakich is looking for them to finish the year on a high note so that they can enter this ACC tournament catching their stride.
We mentioned the change to the ACC tournament as Lichtenberger bats here with 1 out, nobody on in the top of 4. Going from pool play now to single elimination bracket style, where the top 4 seeds in the conference will get a bye to the quarterfinals, and then the top 8 seeds get a bye to the second round. But Clemson, tied for worst in the ACC, they'll be playing that first round game on Tuesday, May 19th. And then you got to run the gauntlet, right? You'll have to win 5 games in 6 days' time in a row if you want to win that ACC tournament in Charlotte.
Yeah, it's an uphill battle for Clemson, but stranger things have happened in postseason play, so anything's on the table here.
Lichtenberger finds the hole left side. He's aboard with 1 out in the fourth.
And that was nice right there, you know, backside hit. Really, we're just trying to find ways on at this point. String some hits together, get the right guys up at the plate with guys in scoring position, and with one swing, this game's turned on its head. So, you know, credit to Lichtenberg right there to find a way on.
When you played at Upstate, what was the conference tournament format?
It's been a minute, but I believe it was double elimination.
Okay.
It was double elimination. I believe maybe the first team had a first round bye.
Yeah. What's it take in those formats, right? You come from a regular season where you're playing 3, at most usually 4 games in a week.
Yeah.
What's it take on the pitching side especially to go out and win 5 games in a week?
I think it's really just a matter of not trying to blow the situation out of proportion. You got to treat it as another game. It's a clean slate for everyone, so if you've been, you know, having a down year, it's an opportunity for you to turn it on and be the MVP of the tournament. So, you know, with that mindset of it, starting fresh, having a brand new outlook on the postseason play, and just trying not to make the situation bigger than what it is, I think can pay dividends.
Obviously, we've seen the parity in the ACC this year, 16-team league, and it feels like a lot of teams are just shuffling places up and down, and it's really tough to be consistently at the top of that deep of a league.
Yeah, Clemson had a great opportunity last week with Florida State, you know, losing Friday, coming back Saturday with the win, and then losing Sunday. Had they taken 2 and then, you know, potentially sweeping Virginia Tech, they'd be in a much better position heading into this ACC tournament.
I think obviously the hope was after you got 2 of 3 against Boston College, who was ranked at the time, and then you won the Coastal game, that maybe if you take 2 of 3 from Florida State at least, and then you win this game against Upstate and you go win a series or sweep a series at Virginia Tech, then maybe that puts you into a bubble situation where, you know, you could hear your name called on selection day even if you don't win the ACC tournament. But right now for Eric Bakic's side, a lot of eyes are kind of set on you're going to have to win the whole thing in Charlotte as Lichtenberger takes off for second base. He's in the scoring position, but on the strikeout of Fultz, there's 2 down here in the 4th.
Looks like Lucas may have been looking for a batter's interference there. Foul tip, but potentially the body came across home plate. Yeah, I think they're going to have a conversation about it. Those are tough. When you got someone stealing and the batter crosses home plate, you kind of stop your arm slide, and then you short arm it, and there's no telling where the ball's going. So that's what they're discussing here, is if he crossed the home plate.
So Kane Sweeney will get home plate umpire and crew as Doug Vines brings the whole group together here on the infield to discuss after that strikeout of Fultz. But then you get Lichtenberger on the move from first base to second, and perhaps a play where after Fultz struck out, he kind of moves out of the box right towards covering that path on the throw down to second base.
Yep.
For now, it's just a strikeout and a stolen bag, and we'll keep it that way. So Jackson Moore in the 9-hole will hit with a runner in scoring position, and Clemson, since that top of the first inning, lacking momentum here at Fifth Third Park. Left on left here for Gibson against Moore as the third pitcher of the day for USC Upstate looks for a third straight scoreless inning for the Spartans on the mound.
Gibson and Lucas need to be on the same page here. We want to try to get them, you know, out of this inning unscathed. On the flip side, Clemson needs to take advantage of this spot with this guy in scoring opportunity. Hadn't come too often for him. Look to see if they spray it somewhere.
After a 1-2-3 second inning, they get 2 runners on with 2 outs in the 3rd and could not do anything. And now a runner in scoring position with 2 outs in the 4th. 5 unanswered for Upstate. And an excuse me foul ball from Jackson Moore puts him to his final strike.
Moore's got to be in protect mode here. Foul off anything that's close. Find a way to get it to purify.
On the 1-2, he rolls it straight at second base, and Alex Ritzer. So another stranded in scoring position. Tigers have left 5 on base through the first 4, and they trail USC Upstate 5-1 halfway through the 4th. Here on a sunny Tuesday night in Spartanburg. USC Upstate's already punched its ticket to next week's Big South Conference tournament up in Asheville, Home Trust Park, home of the Asheville Tourists. And here in the final midweek of the regular season, trying to come up with their biggest statement win of the season. Upstate team that has taken on a gauntlet of non-con opponents at the Power 5 level. We talked about weekend series down in Austin at Texas. Playing 2 this year against Clemson. They played South Carolina. SEC regular season champs in Georgia. And they haven't gotten one of them yet. But they're in a good spot here, going to the home half of the 4th, up 5-1 on Clemson. And really had everything rolling the last 2 weeks. It's the right time of year to be playing your best baseball.
It definitely is, and you know, while those games are daunting on the schedule, it's an opportunity for a mid-major team like Upstate to see the top-tier teams of the college world, and I think that just better prepares them for conference play and then postseason play. But you know, to your point, they do seem to be clicking at the right time here. And, you know, from a coaching standpoint, that's all you can ask for. Just find your way into that postseason and try to make some noise.
Hagan, he rolls it slowly. Third baseman Foltz on the run. Got him.
Excellent play by Foltz. Read the ball right off the bat, charged it, used his glove. A lot of guys want to use their hand right there. It makes things a lot more interesting. But the main thing there is recognizing the batter, what kind of speed the batter has. I think he did a nice job picking that up and knowing that he had time to get it out of his glove and make a good throw.
He's got that positioning chart in his back pocket. He checks it before every AB. He was already playing in, so that helped make the play against Hagan a little bit easier as he starts way back behind third base here against the right-handed power-hitting Tyler Lang. Lang has had a much healthier season this year after his sophomore season a year ago got cut short after just 15 games. He got off to such a great start, hitting almost 400, and then he had to take the redshirt year with an injury after he had injured his left knee in the fall, rehabbed all the way back to where he could play as the DH in the spring, and then he injured same injury to his right knee and had to do the same rehab all over again on the opposite leg. He turns on one and skies it toward the concourse and left. So after he got off to his great start a year ago, he was benched with the injury and sidelined all the way till this spring, and he's come back. He hasn't hit 370, but he's hit it up above 300 this year with over 40 driven in, 6 RBIs, and he goes full in the count here with 1 down against Bell, who's trying to give this Clemson side a little length as the first man out of the bullpen.
Yeah,
5 outs into his day.
I'm sure Coach Sweeney and staff is glad to have Lang healthy and back in the lineup. Just another weapon behind the dish and at the plate.
One of the guys that has really been headliner in this turnaround the last 2 weeks for Upstate. On the 3-2 length, smokes it. Just about took the cleats off of Talon Bell on the mound. .101 exit speed, yeah, you got a hold of that. And that's what you preach, you know, try to hit it right back from where it came from. A lot easier said than done. But Lang there, probably sitting on fastball with it being a full count. And he did damage to it. We've seen a lot of that line drive back up the middle from Upstate in the first 4 innings, right?
Yeah.
Here's Johnny Sweeney.
Upstate staying aggressive here, swinging first pitch. Still trying to capitalize off Bell here.
Have not been able to do nearly as much against the left-hander out of the pen as they were against the starter Dylan Harrison, who lasted 1 2/3 and left responsible for all 5 runs so far for USC Upstate on the board.
I'm gonna need my boy to make that play. He's sitting somewhere over there. Make a play, son.
Luke's 2 kids are in attendance tonight. We'll have to check in between innings, see if they've come up with one of the many foul balls yet. Sweeney rung up on 92 on the outside. Black. 4 strikeouts out of the bullpen for Bell. He's still not allowed a run in his outing. And he's really quieted things down after that 1-out single from Lang. He strikes out Sweeney, and there's 2 gone for Bentley.
Yeah, Sweeney crowded the dish right there to cover that outside portion. I think he just may have fooled Sweeney there. That was just a nice pitch by Bell to place it right on the black of the plate and set Sweeney down.
As a catcher, sometimes do you think that if a guy crowded the plate, then the outside corner maybe expands a little bit to him as the umpire maybe expands the zone on the other side?
It really does depend on the umpire.
Yeah.
I always thought it was a lot more difficult to set up inside as a catcher to potentially frame an inside pitch because you have such little room to operate with if that batter's hugging the plate. So it wasn't more so the outside portion of it that I was worried about. It was trying to make sure that when we do call that inside pitch that we don't get too aggressive and potentially hit the batter.
After that 0-1 Bentley showed bunt, he wanted to pull back, but it just did catch a piece of his barrel, so he falls behind 0-2 and now takes the breaking ball down and inside. With Lang over at first after his 1-out single. Pitching has come back after a hot start for the hitters, and Bell misses in the dirt. Trying to complete a second straight scoreless inning in relief of Dylan Harrison after Clemson gave up 1 in the first to tie the game and then 4 more in the second when Upstate sent all 9 to the plate. It's been 5-1 since. 2-2 is called strike 3. Fastball upper echelons of the zone. And after a 1-out single, back-to-back punch-outs. 5 Ks so far through 2 1/3 of shutout ball from Talon Bell. Clemson needs some offense as we go to the 5th.
At Jersey Mike's, they slice your order fresh right in front of you. And let me tell you, watching that can send a rush of emotions through a person. Excitement, baby-like wonder, anticipatory chewing, nervous pacing, happy claps, and finally, jealousy, because that's this guy's sub. I should order one. Good idea.
Get the Boardwalk Bundle, a number 2 sub, chips and a drink for $10.99. Available for a limited time.
It's a Jersey Mike's thing, a sub above.
For over 30 years, CertaPro painters have been part of countless memories. Freshly painted nurseries, bright, welcoming kitchens, family rooms filled with laughter. Every wall tells a story, and we've been proud to help write them. We are more than just your local painters, with care, craftsmanship, and certainty. From the first brushstroke to the final smile, our promise is simple. Your home beautifully painted and worry-free. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy.
Top of the order for Clemson. Tigers haven't scored since the top of the first here in the final midweek of the regular season. Clemson and USC Upstate for the second time this season after these two met in the postseason last year at the Clemson Regional. It was a Friday night showdown, 1 seed versus 4. And it wasn't quite like this, but USC Upstate certainly put in a fight on that Friday night game, gave the Tigers fans a bit of a scare. That game was tied 3 apiece going to the bottom of the 8th before Clemson eventually broke it open to win game 1 of their regional. Neither team advanced out of the regional. Ultimately, it was West Virginia who got things done. But then in game 2, Upstate against Kentucky went to the bottom of the 8th, down by 1. So they really showed everybody what they were made of last year in their first NCAA tournament appearance, as Purify tries to spark this offense at the top of the lineup here for Clemson, top of the 5th.
Yeah, and even though they didn't really have the outcome they were looking for, they made some noise. They put their presence out there on the national stage. So I feel like they set a benchmark for years followed.
Right. Next classes to just keep one-upping that performance, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Once you get there, next step is to win there.
You got a taste of it, go ahead and get your first one in the postseason.
And winning against a Power 5 team in the midweek like this could certainly go a long way for boosting confidence toward that possibility down the road.
Sure.
Upstate behind 4 in the bottom of the second. And good work out of the bullpen from Max Bianchini with 2 scoreless, and second inning of work for the lefty Jack Gibson now. He falls behind Purify, who did lay off on that high fastball.
I'm sure Purify is having a watchful eye on that pitch clock this go around.
After he got rung up in an 0-2 count on a pitch clock violation. 0 for 2 start at the top of the lineup. And he cuts right through a fastball for strike 2. Feels like Clemson just desperately needs to get him on base here, whether it be a walk, a base hit, whatever.
Yeah.
Just to get the leadoff guy on, which they have not done through 4 innings so far tonight.
Yeah, have to. And that's the perfect guy to give forward and make some noise on the base pass.
Instead, he strikes out at 90 miles per hour, tipped into the mitt of the catcher, Lucas. Purify gunned down on outside gas from Jack Gibson.
Another high fastball outside, challenging Purify. That's what we got him out on the first time up. Again, those are the pitches that are hard to lay off on as a hitter.
So 5 innings straight where Clemson has not gotten the leadoff batter on. And the offense struggling here for the Tigers against USC Upstate. One of the marquee transfers this season for the Tigers, Nate Savoy, DH tonight in the 2-hole. Walked and scored the only run of the game in the first for Clemson. Chicago native, started his collegiate career out on the West Coast. Played a year for Loyola Marymount, where he was the West Coast Conference Freshman of the Year. Hit 300, and that average has climbed as he's transferred to the ACC and hit 333 in 52 games this season for the Tigers.
Always enjoy looking at the roster, seeing where they're from.
Yeah.
I feel like my playing days, at least, I had a Canadian on my
Right.
team. Had a guy, Tyler Cook from Illinois, on my team. So it's fun to just get out there and see where each team, puts their fingerprint across the nation and how they build their roster.
And it's changed a little bit. You've got an added column on the roster now for all the transfers, right? But
yeah,
every coach has kind of their maybe go-to hotbeds of recruiting, whether it be their connections elsewhere around the country or their high school, hotbed maybe in their backyard. You pick up any Canadian slang from your teammate?
Hey, that's about it. No, he did teach me the rules of hockey. And,
there you go.
So that's a fun sport to watch when you know the rules.
Especially this time of year, right?
Yeah.
Shift beater for Savoy to get on with 1 out.
I'm sure you paid close attention to that with you going to Syracuse.
I wouldn't say that I paid close attention to it because I went to Syracuse.
Yeah.
They didn't even have a men's hockey team at Syracuse.
Right.
They do have the Syracuse Crunch and AHL minor league team, but
gotcha.
And they had a women's hockey team who made the NCAA tournament while I was there. But
wow.
I just think anybody, if you're going to get into a postseason, the NHL postseason, Stanley Cup playoffs
that's the way to go.
That is where it's at.
Yeah, it's fun. And the Hurricanes right up the road.
They're blowing everybody out right now.
Yep.
Got a big game going on right now with the Sabres and the Canadians, and a big game 5 between the Ducks and the Golden Knights tonight. Maybe that's what I'll put on after I go home tonight.
You and me both.
It's hard for me to get into the NHL regular season a little bit. One,
agreed.
I grew up in Atlanta. Atlanta no longer has a team.
Yep.
It's a tough regular season to follow, so I'm very, very little concerned with what happens in the regular season. But as soon as the bracket's made, you can show me the bracket and I'll be all in.
Exactly. Well, it's also, falling in line with other major baseball's just starting up.
Yep.
NBA's kind of getting closer to the postseason too. So I'm right there with you. Once that bracket releases, I'm going to be watching it pretty religiously.
And I'd take the NHL playoffs over the NBA playoffs, to be honest with you, every day of the week.
I would, yes, I agree.
Quick visit from Lucas. Gibson tries to battle back here, down 2-1 on Jarrell, who smokes it left field. Waters at the track. That thing's off the top of the wall. Stop sign at third base for Savoy, and Jacob Jarrell was about 6 inches away from leaving the yard here at Fifth Third Park.
And that's exactly what Clemson needed. Jarrell put an excellent swing on it, got the barrel to the ball, pulled his hands in, and really just let the bat do the work. Huge ballpark. Nice job by Waters playing it off the wall there. I really thought that was going off the bat. I mean, that just had the trajectory. Excellent piece of hit there.
381 feet, and he needed a couple more out there in straightaway left field. Waters just had to play catch off the wall. And now a big chance for Luke Gaffney to get Clemson back into the game.
Yeah, 2 runners in scoring position, 1 out. I'm purely looking backside here. We're going straight into attack mode to try to shoot a gap.
Anything to the outfield grass should probably score 2 and cut the deficit in half for the Tigers here, top of the 5th.
Yeah. All new ball game if they get these 2 guys in.
Another transfer addition here for the Tigers out of Purdue. Gaffney's hit to the tune of 322 this year with 40 RBIs and a chance for more. You never really know exactly what you're going to get from the transfer portal these days, right? But between Savoy and Gaffney in the top 4 in the lineup here for Clemson, those are 2 that they really feel like they've hit the jackpot on.
100%. They look similar just from appearance in the batter's box. Just by default there, I mean, they just look like they can go up there and turn a game on its head with one swing of the bat. So I like what they did with those 2 there.
A little more pop maybe for Savoy with double the home runs compared to Gaffney's 8. He's got 16. But both have hit for tremendous average as Gaffney fights one off to run the count full. Clemson's gotten themselves into some better counts here in the second inning from Gibson.
Yeah, they're working the pitch count. They need Upstate to dig into their bullpen even more. They need their pitchers to run those pitch counts up and really make them work for outs here.
(3-2) for Gaffney is low, and they're full with Tigers here in the 5th. And this heavy Clemson crowd here at Fifth Third Park, they are sensing that this could be the moment to finally get some momentum offensively.
Yeah. Wouldn't be a bad idea maybe to get a mound visit in here and kind of calm everything down for Gibson and make sure that him and Lucas are on the same page with the game plan with going up against McClatty here.
Tristan McClatty representing the tying run in the 5th for Clemson as he fouls that off his front foot. Pitch count is quickly approaching 40 here for the 3rd pitcher of the day for Upstate's Jack Gibson in his 2nd inning out of the bullpen.
Yeah, I'm going to take a wild guess and say that small ball isn't in the cards here.
They've forced more work out there in the pen at least. I'm not sure trailing by 4 in the 5th, though. You're going to turn to the punt. That's drilled. Center field from McClatty. And a run and grab from Trey Bentley. And it only scores 1. Welcome to Fifth Third Park, Tristan McClatty. It's not super fun when you hit the baseball to straightaway center field.
I mean, for McClatty, you can't do anything more there. I mean, you hit the ball probably as hard as you could to the deepest part of the field. Had Bentley been a couple of feet shorter, playing in the field, that would have burned him. He barely got a glove on that, made a nice catch, but you know, hats off to McClatty. That was an excellent swing to drive a run in.
Gets Savoy in with the sacrifice fly, but that's now 2 380+ foot fly balls. Gerald, McClatty, and neither has left the yard.
Yeah.
At least on Gerald's case, he hit it off the wall in left field for a double, but only thing McClatty gets is an RBI on the sacrifice fly. Clemson would have liked a whole lot more out of that swing. And now if you're Gibson, after your center fielder Bentley makes a great play, you're one more out away from taking momentum right back. You hold Clemson to just 1 run here. That feels like a big win.
Yeah, but make no mistake, Gibson has those 2 hits from Clemson, or those 2 at bats from Clemson in the back of his mind. They stroke those balls, and you know, they still have an opportunity to put runs on the board here.
Creighton flies it right center field. Zener puts away the final out in the top of the 5th. That feels like a win for the Spartans in all white here tonight at Fifth Third Park. Bases loaded, 1 out, and the Tigers just get 1. It's still a 3-run lead halfway through 5 for USC Upstate here in downtown Spartanburg against Clemson. Another freshman on the mound for the Clemson Tigers. Freshman Landon Fowler, right-hander, takes over after Talon Bell had himself a nice outing here at Fifth Third Park. Calmed things down against USC Upstate offensively. Bell goes 2 1/3 of shutout in relief of Dylan Harrison. And now the freshman from right here in South Carolina. Just down the road, Powdersville High School and Easley. Landon Fowler will try and pick up right where Bell left off. He did a good job in relief of Harrison.
Yeah, he really did. And Upstate is probably relieved to see Landon Fowler coming in here, but the hope here is that Fowler just builds off of what Bell did these past few innings here, keeping Upstate at bay and giving themselves a chance to get back in the dugout and string some hits together to throw some runs on the board.
After not pitching in almost a month, this will be the second outing in just 4 days for freshman Fowler. He gave Clemson 2 innings strong of scoreless baseball in their loss Friday in the series opener against top 15 ranked Florida State. And he hadn't pitched since a series back in early April against North Carolina before that outing. Have not been a ton of opportunities to find the mound this season in live game action for the freshman. Just 7 innings in 7 appearances, but the numbers are good. 1.29 earned run average coming into the night. Faces the bottom half of the order to start his day, with Clemson still trailing, but trimmed off 1 in that deficit, down to 5-2 in the last half inning.
Yeah, and it may not look like much, but if you just keep chipping away, it'll add up here. They got to keep Upstate at bay, though. It's a close pitch right there.
goes the way of the hitter Jake Armsey, who finds himself up 2-1 to start here, bottom of the 5th. Puts it into the hole, it's short. Lichtenberger to his right and bounces it to first with the scoop from Gaffney.
Excellent. Gaffney made a nice stretch there. Didn't panic, read the ball in the dirt, scooped it up. Very nice.
Good on both sides, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that ball was hit a little bit in the hole there for Lichtenberg. He gave his first baseman just enough chance to dig that one out.
There's the other catcher for USC Upstate. Told you about Tyler Lang, who's DHing tonight, and Preston Lucas from the left side takes a called strike. Senior out of Phoenix, Arizona. Came over last year in the first year under head coach Kane Sweeney, who had been on staff as an assistant at Upstate. Got the promotion and immediately took the Spartans to their first NCAA tournament. And after a couple years at Glendale Community College, Preston Lucas a part of that. Hasn't done quite as much as he did production-wise at the plate last year when he hit .337. Just below 300 this year, but that's kind of been the case for a lot of the returners for USC Upstate, especially in that sluggish month of April as Lucas tags one, but straight at McCladian Center.
I like what I'm seeing from Clemson. They're throwing balls in the strike zone, making these hitters work. Yeah, they're tagging them a little bit, but still making nice plays here, finding ways to get themselves back in the dugout to get the bats going again.
And that's the best thing that you can do, right, for an offense that's only put up 2 runs through 5 innings is keep hanging zeros and doing them as quick as you can to get the bats right back to work.
Throwing strikes.
Called strike, bottom of the zone to start Wiley Waters. He's got some great facial hair going. How about the mustache there for Waters?
Yeah, not too many of us can pull that, can we?
That's not in your arsenal, Luke?
My wife, she's not she's not a fan of that.
That would be a no-go?
That is a no-go.
I think Wiley's got it going well. That's a yes in my book. Doesn't help him out, though. 3 pitches and goodbye on a 1-2-3 out of the bullpen. Good start to the day from Landon Fowler. He keeps the scoreless inning streak going for Clemson at the field. They'll try and keep inching closer, trailing by 3 through 5. Carousel keeps coming for USC Upstate, who goes back to the bullpen, trying to protect what is a 5-2 lead over Clemson. Upstate searching for a first Power 5 win of the season. And they've got the lead through 5 here at Fifth Third Park. They turn things over to the right-hander out of the pen, Jacob Kirby, redshirt freshman from just north across the border in Waxhaw, North Carolina. Kirby will face the bottom of the order for the Tigers. If anybody would reach, You get right back to the top of the order where Jaron Purify has had a rare off night so far at 0 for 3. Fourth pitcher in 6 innings of work. About what we expected here tonight from Upstate, and so far so good.
It's been working to their advantage here. But Clemson has found a way to quiet their momentum down here. So look to have Clemson capitalize on this with Kirby coming in the pitch.
Saw a little bit of sharp contact at the tail end of the day from Jack Gibson, but he got that much needed final out there.
Yeah.
In the top of the 5th. After bases loaded, 1 out, he limited the damage to just the 1 run on the sac fly.
Yeah, Upstate got lucky last inning. They're lucky to just get out of there with 1 run.
First pitch in the zone, a called strike for Kirby. Changeup buckles the knees of Lichtenberger, and it's an 0-2 count. That might be the best seat not in the house right there.
Absolutely.
You
can see more people don't take advantage.
I know,
of that.
you can see everything from the top of the parking deck. Straight to the sky at second base. Ritzer has his hands extended, and he's got the first out here in the 6th. Only problem is I think they're out of parking by the time first pitch happened.
They're going to be waiting a while after the game's over, unless they slide out of here early.
Great crowd here as USC Upstate just down the road has brought a lot of fans, and Clemson has traveled well as always too.
Yeah, another guy in Kirby here who's ate up a lot of innings for Upstate this year, has been reliable to lean on. Nice pitch there, a little off speed.
Exclusively out of the bullpen for Kirby, sub-5 earned run average, 34 innings tossed so far this season. And they'll try and get multiple out of him here out of the bullpen, as he's gone heavy breaking stuff to start. Got the pop out from Lichtenberger, and he's again in an 0-2 count.
You got to think he's either going to elevate a fastball here, make him chase, or throw another slider, maybe low and away, bury something in the dirt here.
It is a backed up slider for called strike 3. Maybe not the spot he wanted, but you'll take it.
It worked.
2 up, 2 down for Kirby out of the pen. The further and further we go in this game, it feels like the more the pressure mounts on the Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, in reality, as the game goes on, your chances grow slimmer. So someone's got to step up, make a play here, find a way on, and get the energy going back in Clemson's dugout. They got the momentum behind them these past couple innings by keeping Upstate at bay. But we really need them to try to extend this inning here.
The first time these two met back in late April, as Kane Sweeney, head coach at Upstate, said to us, we were both playing bad baseball and just somebody had to win. Yeah. And it was Clemson, thanks to 6 early runs, 3 in the first, 3 in the second. Yeah. They cruised to a 7-2 victory. That part of a 9-game losing streak at the time for the Spartans. And now we're at a point where both teams are playing much better baseball. Clemson, several ranked wins in the last 2 weeks. 2 of 3 against BC, won the midweek against Coastal, only took 1 of 3 against Florida State. And on the other side, 6 of the last 7 have gone to the win column for the Spartans. And it's been a lot different than it was a few weeks ago. USC Upstate this time with the early offense, 1 in the first and 4 in the second. And they've been in the driver's seat since that bottom of the 2nd inning. Kirby can't get the pulled up called strike as Lucas tried to make it look good. But a walk at the bottom of the order extends the inning for Jaron Purify.
That's a great at bat by Moore. Just seeing pitches, working the count, and really pressing Kirby to try to find that strike zone there. Now we have an opportunity for Purify to come up here, make some noise. He's been quiet at the plate today, so you got to think at some point he's due.
He lifts the first pitch he sees through the left side, extends that hit streak to 7, and a 2-out rally here in the 6th for Clemson, who for the second straight inning will bring the potential tying run to the plate. So many times that guy, Jaron Purify, has been the key to start the engine for Clemson this season. Again, he missed about a month of the year with a fracture in his hand. Longest time that he's missed of playing in all 3 years that he spent on the Clemson campus. And since he's come back, that's been the last 2 weeks, right, where we've seen Clemson be a lot more competitive. That is smoked foul. First pitch swinging from Savoy.
Yeah, Savoy's looking to do damage right here. I think he can sense that, like you mentioned, the opportunities are growing slimmer. So he's trying to put something in play, shoot a gap here to definitely score the man on second, potentially on first as well.
Big power bats in the lineup here with Savoy in the 2-hole and Jacob Jarrell, team leader in home runs, one more than Savoy on deck.
If I'm Waters in left field, I might be taking a handful of steps back here.
Get a little closer to the line. We've seen.
Might be.
We saw that first pitch was roped foul down that left field line.
Yeah.
After Kirby got the first 2 pretty easily, pop out and a strikeout to start his day. He's in a mini jam here in the 6th. He gets strike 2 on a foul ball from Savoy, and he's a strike away from keeping this Upstate lead at 3.
And that's what separates the good teams from mediocre to bad teams is what can you do with 2 outs? Are you going to fold and, make it 3 up, 3 down, or are you going to try to find a way on, get it to the guy behind you, so on and so forth?
Pop up on the infield. Ritzer at second, inning over. Savoy cannot get it to the guy behind him. Instead, the 2-out rally comes to a close with nothing to show for it for Clemson, who still trails Upstate. It's 5-2 Spartans halfway through the 6th.
Everyone wants to win, but not everyone puts in the extra work. The alarms before sunrise, the reps when no one's watching, the adversity you overcome, the pressure you embrace. In the Big South Conference, we're not just chasing trophies. We're chasing success that lasts a lifetime. Because winning doesn't stop at the final whistle. It carries you forward in sport, in life, and everything you do. This is the Big South, where winners are made.
Support the success of USC Upstate student athletes at the premier fundraising event of the year for the Upstate Athletic Fund, Sparty's Ball. This year's event is slated for Friday, May the 15th at the Piedmont Club in downtown Spartanburg. Come dressed to impress and enjoy music, cocktails, great food, and a terrific live and silent auction. Our success on the field is because of the support our student athletes receive off the field. So join us May the 15th and help the Spartans reach greater heights. For tickets and more information on Sparty's Ball, log on to upstatespartans.com/Sparty's Ball.
After some early offense and an explosive second from the Spartans, it's been a bit of a pitcher's duel here in the final midweek showdown of the 2026 regular season. USC Upstate in front of Clemson trying to pull the upset of the Tigers and get even more momentum rolling towards next week's Big South Conference tournament. Tigers trying to keep this game right where it is as Landon Fowler, the freshman, goes back to work for his second inning of work. You got a feeling that with the way that the schedule worked out for Upstate, not playing a conference series the final week of the regular season, they're kind of in a waiting mode, right, Luke, where they know their fate. They're going to be anywhere from a 3 to a 5 seed in next week's Big South tournament. They've already locked in their spot.
Yeah.
They won't have a first-round bye in a 6-team tournament where the first 2 teams get a bye. And they feel like they're playing really well. They've won the last 2 weekend series. They've won 6 of 7. And this feels like it would be a nice cherry on the top to the regular season to give you even more confidence to a confident bunch going to Asheville next week.
Absolutely. I mean, I think They could probably spin it both ways. They could see, you know, hey, we took down a great team in Clemson. Let's go in here and handle business against Northern Kentucky as we cap off the end of the season and then roll into Big South. But then on the other hand, I could also see if I was a player, like, all right, look, we had some opportunities during the season to take advantage of some series that didn't quite fall our way. Now we have to pay the price for that and really just kind of see how the rest of the conference shapes out on this last week of the season. So, you know, either way you spin it, they're playing good ball, and that's all you can ask for at this point.
When we talked with Caden Sweeney, coach of the Spartans, yesterday, kind of joked that you might want to skip this last week, right? Go ahead and get to Asheville with the way that they've been playing. Yeah. But he said, yeah, but we really would like to beat Clemson tomorrow, you know? and that's understandably so. That would be one of the biggest statement wins in a long time for USC Upstate baseball as they get the leadoff man, Alex Ritzer, on here against Landon Fowler. Brings up the top of the order here for the Spartans, trying to reboost that lead here, up by 3 in the 6th.
Yeah, from a recruiting standpoint, I'm sure he would want nothing more than to put a statement win against a Power 4 conference team like Clemson, just to show, you know, not only the players, the current players, but incoming players that, hey, what we have going on here, we are on the rise. We are capable of playing top-tier baseball and compete with the best teams in the nation. So I absolutely would not be surprised if this is a game that Kane Sweeney had circled on his schedule.
Zener in the leadoff spot. 1 for 3, single, drove in a run, and scored back in the 2nd inning. 4-run inning. That's been the difference maker so far tonight for the Spartans. And he goes down hacking at a changeup on the outside corner. But you talk about using this as a recruitment tool. A year ago, Upstate goes to Raleigh. They go to NC State. They run rule the Wolfpack 15-5, and you look at the 2026 roster, and what do you see? Well, you see a transfer that came over from NC State, and he's in the starting lineup in center field tonight, and that's Trey Bentley.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of fun to see the revolving door of the transfer portal and these teams that you go up against, you know, potentially have a player that falls in your lap that plays for your team next year. So it's fun to watch. I can see it being frustrating from a coaching standpoint where you have such a good core group of guys and then it's very much year-by-year basis. But at the same time, that just leaves the door open for another opportunity to go get even more better players.
You played, what, a decade ago, right, at Upstate as a catcher, and it feels like the last decade of college athletics has seen just seismic shifts in the way everything works. When you compare, you know, maybe the last 40 years of college athletics, there's probably more shifts in the last 10 years.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I know it's been a minute, but I know when I was playing, you gave your commitment, and it was kind of off-the-wall thing to break your verbal commitment.
Right.
If you broke a verbal commitment, you were kind of looked at in a weird way. So
ripped down the left field line by Hageney to the corner. Ritzer speeds to third, and he'll put on the brakes there. It's a stand-up double, and Upstate in business and out here in the 6th.
Yeah, another great piece of hit right there. I mean, 2 guys in scoring position, 1 out here. Lang is probably going to be aggressive here, I would imagine. He might go first pitch swinging if it's right there for the taking. Because we really, you know, you really don't know when this opportunity is going to come up again in the game, and you got to keep your foot on the gas.
Just to finish the point on the portal, right?
Yeah.
Was that even something that crossed your head when you played college baseball?
No, because at the time, if you were to go from a Division I school to another Division I school, you'd have to sit out a year.
Right.
Unless you were going to get like your graduate or something like that.
Yes,
I had a
grad transfer.
That was considering graduating from Upstate and going to play his graduate season at Clemson.
Sure.
But, you know, if you were a non-graduate, you'd have to pay the penalty to sit out. And, you know, for some kids, some teammates, it was worth it. You know, every kid's situation is different. But, you know, me personally, I was very happy with playing at Upstate, and I was all about just trying to play as much as I could with the time that I had and play year after year. So, yeah, the transfer portal was a mere, it wasn't anything at that point.
With the infield in, Lang flies it back out of play. He's got a chance to re-up this Upstate lead. Base hit here could give the Spartans a commanding gap on the scoreboard headed to the final 3 frames. With one out, the 1-2. Lang smokes it. Deep center field. McClatty on his horse toward the track. He's got it over his head. And a sacrifice fly drives in a 6th run of the night.
Another good piece of hitting by Upstate there. Lang just put the barrel on the ball. You know, center fielder made a great play out there. Upstate probably could have tagged up on second, but I get, you know, them hanging out at you know, in between second and third there just to see if the center fielder may have dropped it, but that ball was definitely hit deep enough to potentially tag up both players there.
Lead is back to 4 for the Spartans with Johnny Sweeney swinging away on a sky ball to shallow left. Lichtenberger gets twisted around and he made the catch. That turned into an adventure. Lichtenberger put a big scare into the Clemson Tigers fans' hearts here at Fifth Third Park. But he makes the play. No pictures on the scorecard. Limits the damage to 1. But Upstate re-ups the lead to 4 through 6 here at Fifth Third Park. Spartanburg. I bet that guy's getting a heck of a picture from the top of the parking garage. Looking on as Upstate leads Clemson 6-2 into the 7th. Might have to find that one on his social media later tonight. It is a picture-perfect night here in downtown Spartanburg, South Carolina. Great to have you with us. Andrew Setliver, Luke Weber here from Fifth Third Park. And Upstate in a bit of a surprise with a 4-run lead into the 7th on top of Clemson. Just an absolute picturesque night. Low 70s, sun was out. It has since set. And the heart of the order for Clemson trying to claw its way back into the game. First pitch strike from Kirby into Jacob Jarrell. This guy's been on base 3 times, but Upstate's at least steered clear of a big swing from the home run leader for the Tigers. He's walked twice. He doubled off the wall in the 5th. But he has not driven in a run, and he has not come around to score any of his 3 times on. Right on, right matchup to start here. 9 outs to work with for the Tigers, and it's getting close to counting outs territory here for Clemson fans at Fifth Third Park.
Yeah, Jarrell's put some good swings on the ball tonight. See what he can do here with 2 strikes.
Just stays alive. Big looping breaking ball at 72 miles per hour from Kirby.
I know Preston would have Like to have that one back, maybe snag that as a foul tip, get that out there. I think it may have caught some of his body, though, outside of his chest protector. Looks like the umpire's giving him a little bit of time to recover there.
Clemson only 2 runs through 6 innings, not for a lack of chances, though. Only 1, 2, 3 inning thus far for USC Upstate on the mound. That came in the 2nd inning. First inning of work for Max Bianchini. He tossed 2 scoreless. And then Jack Gibson, 2 innings of 1-run ball. And now the 2nd inning for Jacob Kirby, who is yet to allow a run, after starter Wyatt Land gave up 1 in his 1 inning of work. Bullpen game, and they have pieced it together so far into the 7th. Just 9 outs to secure.
So how many foul balls have come your way up here? They do sneak up.
Good question. I think we've had 1 in the booth this season here for the Spartanburgers, the Rangers High A affiliate that plays here. 1-2 again. Got him swinging. Kirby wins the battle over Gerald to start the 7th.
And that's just a 71-mile-an-hour slider. I mean, that is crawling up to the batter's box there. Got Gerald out on his front foot and really got him down on 1 knee there. So I think Gerald did all he could just to try to foul tip it. It just didn't fall his way there.
We saw several in the booth last year, though, here at Fifth Third Park. We saw one that came straight in and ricocheted straight off the back wall.
Preston might have a chance on this one.
He doesn't see it as the problem. First baseman Sweeney gives it a long run. And now, off the ricochet from the net, Lucas has got a big smile on his face as he caught that one. Just cascaded down the net behind home plate. But he never saw that here at Sunset Hour in Spartanburg.
And those are tough. I mean, they have so much backspin on them. They might start outside of the stadium or over the netting, and then they'll just gradually, as they're coming back down, they'll just gradually go back into the field of play to where you can catch it.
You'll take that if you're Luke Gaffney. Another crawling breaking ball that went wrong.
That won't leave too much of a mark.
Just 70 miles per hour between the shoulders. Clemson needs base runners any way you can take them.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm McClatty right here, knowing that these breaking balls are coming in here at that pace, I might just sit breaking ball. I would imagine he's probably going to see a heavy dose of it here.
Starts with the fastball in the high 80s. Gets himself to a 1-0 count. 6 hits, 6 walks, and only 2 runs to show for it tonight for Clemson.
That's going to be maybe some trouble.
Second baseman
Ritzer
makes the lunging grab in fair territory. It is that time of night. We've seen back-to-back pop-ups that have caused problems here just after sunset. And Ritzer found it at the last moment. That has got to be a desperate feeling when you see 2 hands to the air. And yet he re-corralled his balance and makes the play.
Yeah, your heart kind of drops when you see your teammate out there, what looks to be an easy out, just throw his hands up. Can't see it. You're kind of in no man's land there, and you just hope for the best.
Fisted to short by Crichton. Hageney on the full sprint in. Throws it off the line. They got the tag from Sweeney on the chest.
Good recovery there.
Clemson leaves another on the bases. 10 stranded through 7. It is stretch time, and it is 6-2 Upstate over Clemson here at Fifth Third Park.
last call for alcohol. The first
Seventh
pitch
inning
of the bottom
stretch
of the
time
eighth
here in
inning.
Spartanburg, South Carolina. Beautiful night at the ballpark, and great to have you along with us here on ESPN Plus. Andrew Selliver, Luke Weber, watching on as USC Upstate takes a 6-2 lead. A bit of a surprise over Clemson here to the home half of the seventh. Just 6 outs to get for the Spartans. They'll try and tack on to their lead that sits at its largest of the night. 4 runs the advantage. And another new pitcher into the game, this time for the Tigers. Right-hander Nathan Dvorsky comes in relief of Landon Fowler, who gave up 1 run in his 2 innings of work.
Yeah, give credit where it's due. That play that Sweeney made off the bag right there, that pulled him off the bag, he made a nice tag, and most importantly was able to keep possession of it. It kind of bobbled, looked like it may slide out, but did a nice job ending the inning there.
That the tag on the throw from Hagan, a 6-3 put out to finish the top half of the 7th. Sets down the side and sets down Jack Crichton for the 4th time tonight. Also stranded another runner, as Clemson has left 10 aboard here through the first 7 innings. Still, that 4-run second for USC Upstate has been the big difference maker tonight. That is the lead right now for Upstate, who sends 5, 6, and 7. Trey Bentley, Jake Armsey, and Preston Lucas to face off against Dvorsky. Senior from down in Swanee, Georgia, Lambert High School. Bentley, the switch hitter, swings away from the left side and slices it to the seats. 12th appearance of the year. Dvorsky just in his 9th inning of work with a 5.40 earned run average. Pitches for the first time in 10 days exclusively from the stretch with a huge shift on. Bounced it in there. They've got 3 guys on the right side of the diamond, which you don't see at this ballpark much, because with a minor league team in the Hub City Spartanburgers calling this place home, you're not allowed to do what Clemson's doing right now defensively on the infield.
Right.
Still can get away with it at the college level. You like that change from Major League Baseball or no?
I've never been too big on the shift to begin with. I've always thought it, as a hitter, it was always wild to me that you couldn't just shoot the ball the other way, but I do get, these guys are best pitchers in the world. They can just pinpoint where they want that ball to go. But I guess I'm a little old school when it comes to that. I like the way how it used to be.
All right. Well, shift does its
job.
But it worked there. it does its job right there. Straight into the teeth of the shift by Trey Bentley. 6-3 put out as Lichtenberger to the right of second throws him out. One down for Jake Armsey. Lichtenberger back to his regularly scheduled programming at shortstop against the right-handed swinging Armsey, who takes a called strike. Coach Sweeney said if they want to do what they want to do, which is go to NCAA tournaments and compete like they did last year, you need these games on the schedule. It's good for recruiting. It's good for the guys that go to play at a place like USC Upstate. They want to play these games.
Yeah.
And right now they are 6 outs away from their biggest mark of the season and their first Power 5 win since last year.
Yeah, and from Upstate's perspective, you got to treat these last couple of innings here as sounds cliche as any other inning. You don't want to magnify it more than it is. Play sound baseball, make the routine plays, and good things will happen. Good stop there by Gerald. I need to know how old that catcher's chest protector is.
That thing has some wear and tear, right?
Yeah.
Something tells me that one's been around for a while. He's not the first guy to put that on, right?
Something tells me he's a little superstitious about that. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's the baseball coming out in me. But if it does the job, then keep it going.
Baseball players are like that a little bit. They love their superstitions.
Oh, yeah.
That one might have been passed down through the program. 1 out walk and a line drive off the bat of Lucas to left. Creighton has it for the second out here in the 7th. Both teams have really, on the pitching side, managed this bullpen game pretty well. It's just that second inning that got away from Clemson starter Dylan Harrison. He's charged with 5 of the 6 Upstate runs tonight.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. I mean, for the most part, it has been a pitcher's duel. The score doesn't really tell that story, but outside of that second inning, it's really been zeros and a couple ones spread across the scoreboard.
Waters chops it back foul. He's down in the count 0-2 as Dvorsky searches for a scoreless 7th inning, trying to strand that walk of Armsy over at first base. Tigers will bring the bottom of their order to the lineup in the home half in the top of the 8th. Curveball stays high. Probably just one more crack at it for everybody in that Clemson dugout, down to their final 6 outs, trailing 6-2 here in the 7th. Stolen bag doesn't matter. Strike 3 as Waters goes down swinging. And it is a scoreless 7th from Nathan Dvorsky. He keeps this game right where it is. 6-2 Upstate. And the Spartans go back to work in the field, trying to inch closer to an upset win.
Breathe. Woo! Let's take this thing higher, higher than you ever been. Stand tall like Everest. I mean higher. You ain't gotta settle in. Go places they never been. We go higher. Take it to the top, even when the ball drops. My man, we go higher. Woo! Let's take this thing. No stop, it's time to go higher.
Top of the 8th, and Clemson is chasing 4 against USC Upstate in this final midweek showdown of 2026 in the regular season. Tigers have their backs up against the wall here as they try and make a late push toward the NCAA tournament. Clemson comes into the night at 30-22, just 21-4 in out-of-conference games and 9-18, tied for worst in the ACC. And because of that conference record, they are staring down potentially missing the NCAA tournament. And if they can't come back tonight, certainly their destiny lies in the hands of needing to go win the ACC tournament a week from now. First pitch swinging, Lichtenberger toward left center. And Bentley is there. 1 pitch and 1 out in the 3rd inning of work out of the pen for Jacob Kirby.
I kind of expected Lichtenberg to see some pitches there. He's got 25 walks on the year. would have been a good opportunity to get that pitch count up, see the arsenal that Kirby has, and you know, just work the count to his advantage.
On a night where 4 different arms have been used so far into the 8th for USC Upstate, Kirby has gone the longest now of any of them at 2 1/3 innings worked, and nobody has given up more than 1 run.
Yeah. Both teams have done solid work from the bullpen. Can't really ask for much more with your bullpen arms. I know Clemson used some guys that hadn't really been in high leverage situations this year, so that's a good opportunity for them to put their talents on display along with Upstate's.
But usually you get to the midweek at the college level and you're seeing a lot of offense. Looper to short, and Hageney's got out number 2. And Upstate is now just 4 outs away from the upset. And tonight's not been that case for either offense. Just that explosive second inning for Upstate still, when they put up 4 runs, the difference.
And there's that 71 mile an hour off speed that Kirby's been throwing consistently. Got him on his front foot there to just hit it on the end of the bat, easy out.
He certainly doesn't throw the hardest of any pitcher these Clemson Tigers will have seen this year. But against the bottom of the order now in the 8th, he has set down the first 2 he's seen, and Jackson Moore tries to extend it and flip things over for Clemson. Kirby, a guy that actually went to go play in the ACC, got recruited out of high school at Reagan High School in Waxhaw, North Carolina, to go to the Tar Heels in North Carolina. He spent 2 years in that UNC program, and he did not play. Redshirted his freshman year in 2024. Medical redshirt his sophomore year in 2025. And now he's found his way into the bullpen with USC Upstate.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of the transfer portal. Find your footing, find a place where you can get playing time. And you know, that's I think that goes deaf on kids' ears nowadays. You know, they see the big names that recruit them, and then I've always been in the mindset of go where you can play.
Yeah.
And if that means going to a smaller school where you can play early.
Hot shot to first, and Sweeney gobbles it up. He sprints to the bag, and it's a 1-2-3 frame for just the 2nd time tonight for Upstate in the field. Well, Jacob Kirby with 3 shutout innings. He's gotten Upstate 3 outs away from the finish line, and a stunner here at Fifth Third Park potentially on the horizon. Clemson trailing USC Upstate by 4 to the bottom of the 8th here at Fifth Third Park. Tigers turn to another new pitcher. It's left-handed junior Justin Legurnick into the game, as he'll try and get us to the 9th. In his mind, hoping to keep it at just a 6-2 deficit. Clemson in the top of the 9th will have the top of its order due up. One last crack, but they'll need at least 4, and we'll see if Upstate can increase that number here with 9-1 and 2 to face off against the left-hander Legurnick. It has been a well-pitched ball game from both sides, but especially from this USC Upstate side. 4 different guys, and Jacob Kirby, the latest out of the bullpen, with 3 shutout innings so far.
Yeah, Clemson has the part of their lineup up that they need to have heading into the last inning here. Let's see if they can crack the code with Kirby.
Legurnick, a heavily used bullpen arm for the Tigers. 37 innings used on his left arm so far this season. Sub 5 earned run average, 3-2 record, but he'll need some help from the offense if he wants a chance to add on to that record. He'll try and do his job, though, against Alex Ritzer, and then the top of the order with Zener and Hageney here in the home half of the 8th. Good looking fastball that just missed. Takes over for Dvorsky. Scoreless frame in the 7th. There's a strike. But you look at what the bullpen for Clemson has done, and it's been similar stuff to USC Upstate. Again, Dylan Harrison, the starter. Freshman got the start tonight for Clemson. He went 1 2/3 innings of work in just his 5th start of his freshman campaign. And he gave up 5 runs, and since then, just 1 run of offense for Upstate against the Clemson bullpen. Line drive foul off the padding at the third base dugout. Tigers all unscratched over there.
I would have hit the deck if that was me. they shook that one off like it was no big deal.
Eric Bakich has a cooler head, apparently. He seems unfazed at that hot shot toward the third base dugout. Count goes full here to start home half of the 8th.
Legurnick has a unique delivery here. It's kind of sidearm, herky-jerky, and to top it off, he throws 95. So
good start to his day. Backwards K with that fastball.
No surprise there. That's tough. Lefty on lefty with that throw in motion and that velo. That's a tough at bat.
Ritzer was hoping to find himself on base with a 2nd straight walk on a night where he had yet to be retired until that AB. Bunted his way on in the 2nd, singled in the 3rd, and walked in the 6th. Top of the order, Zener chops it foul. This would be another tough loss to stomach for the Tigers fans in a year where things have not gone according to plan. If you asked any of these Clemson fans in attendance tonight in February where they thought that Clemson would be, I don't think they would have said this.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Like we had said earlier in the game, the talent from top to bottom is absolutely there. It's just been one of those years, which happens.
Back-to-back backwards Ks for Legurnick.
It's been one of those years where things just haven't fallen their way for whatever reason, and they just hadn't found that consistency of playing fundamental baseball.
And again, it's been those weekend ACC series where they have just won 9 and lost 18 inside the conference. You talk to Coach Bakich, and the way he described it is, you know, there's typically in these ACC series one game that we've got a great shot at in, one game where we don't, and then one kind of toss-up game.
Yeah.
And they just haven't won that toss-up close battle game at all year.
Yeah. And it's been one of those things where the pitching's on, we hadn't hit and scored runs in scoring situations, and vice versa. It's and the ACC is no joke. You have to play complimentary baseball week in and week out if you want to make some noise. Not very forgiving.
And the ACC has added schools, and it's gotten just as tough, right? With Stanford and Cal joining the group. And again, the task when Clemson goes to Charlotte will be to win 5 games in 6 days in the ACC tournament. And right now it's looking like that will be the only way toward the NCAA tournament for the Tigers. On the Upstate side, they'll go to Asheville next week, Big South tournament, and try and defend their title. Get their way back to a regional for the 2nd straight year. On a check swing, the count goes full.
Yeah, Upstate could be playing the waiting game with them playing non-conference this weekend. They're really just waiting to see how the Big South Conference shakes up to see who their opponent's going to be.
Legurnick trying to strike out the side, and he'll need another pitch here against Hageney. It'll be a scoreboard watching weekend for Upstate and the Spartans fans. Most likely result is to fall into either the 3 or the 4 seed.
Yeah.
Could fall to the 5 seed, but that would be surprising based on what the scenarios are right now. Another 3-2 from Legurnick. Struck him out. Fired up the fastball to 97 on the gun. And Legurnick strikes out the side in the bottom of the 8th. 3 outs to get for USC Upstate, trying to upset Clemson here on a Tuesday night at Fifth Third Park. A big spot for the freshman. Right-handed Andrew Kummer comes into the game in the top of the 9th. He tries to close out Clemson on this final midweek game of the 2026 regular season. USC Upstate in front of the Tigers 6-2 to the top of the 9th. It'll be the big swingers for the Tigers, top of the order. And what a spot to be just a freshman if you're Andrew Kummer, as Upstate searches for its first Power 5 win of the season.
Yeah, Kummer has a big opportunity ahead of him. Needless to say, he's going to start off with a bang here with Purify, so I'm interested to see if he can get the job done here and pick up where Kirby left off.
And the last time out for Kummer, again, freshman out of Crownsville, Maryland, Mount St. Joseph's High School. He's trying to wipe bad memories from this weekend at Presbyterian. USC Upstate on Friday night took a 4-run lead into the bottom of the 8th. Kummer pitched a third of an inning and gave up 3 runs, and Presbyterian came from behind to win that game before Upstate took the final 2 of the series and won its first road series of the year. And now Kummer, after going a third of an inning and giving up 3 runs, faces the top of Clemson's order, and it starts with Jaron Purify as the Tigers have 3 outs and need 4 runs. Kummer takes over for Jacob Kirby, who was probably the best of now 5 pitchers on the day for Upstate.
Yeah, Clemson could not figure out that off-speed pitch that Kirby had going. It wasn't anything that was going to he didn't have anything that was going to overpower you to begin with, but he did a nice job of getting these hitters on their front foot and making weak contact. So
Purify takes high, 2-1.
I would imagine that Upstate's probably going to try to do that same thing, but again, Kummer throws it much harder here. So this might play well into Clemson's favor.
The Tigers have not had the leadoff hitter on in any of 8 innings here tonight. But they're one more out of the zone from Kummer from getting that done for the first time in the final inning of regulation as Purify tries to reach and start a rally here in the 9th. The 3-1 from Kummer is swung on, driven down the left field line to the corner. Didn't need the walk because Purify has started what Clemson hopes to be a come-from-behind rally with a stand-up double and some kisses toward the dugout.
Same thing as his last at bat. Hard hit ball to the left side of the field. He was up in the count 3-1. you got to think that he was just sitting on that fastball, knowing that Cummer wasn't going to challenge him with anything off speed and potentially give him first base. So credit to Purify there by just, sticking to the plan and putting a nice swing on the ball.
And just one batter into the outing, and Cummer gets a visit from veteran catcher Preston Lucas, as Purify, who after his month-long injury has come back to provide a lightning strike down the final stretch of the regular season to the Tigers, and Clemson hoping that his double can spark them here in the 9th inning again. If you're wondering why Kirby came out of the game after 3 shutout innings, as Savoy takes outside ball 1, he has only pitched past 3 innings once this year, and his career long in college of 4 innings came all the way back in February. So maybe with 1 week left in the regular season, Kane Sweeney said we don't need to really test it, right? Because while this would be a huge win for Upstate, there are bigger and more important games to play in a week's time in Asheville at the conference tournament.
Right, and we want to have that availability for any team really that's looking to make some noise in postseason play. So Upstate has a nice lead here. They have some wiggle room to play with. So, while it is surprising to see Kirby come out of there with the success that he had against Clemson, I can understand it from that stat as well. So it's important here. Cummer's got to take a breath, compose himself, and find that strike zone.
Hard hit again, but straight at second, and Ritzer throws out Savoy for a much-needed first out here for Cummer.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, ABC baseball right there. I know Savoy probably would have liked to get the ball in the gap and really score a run, but he did move the base runner over to make it a lot easier to scratch a run across. But, again, that just leaves him with 2 more outs here.
Jacob Jarrell 1 for 2, a couple walks, a double off the wall and left that was a foot from being a home run, and a strikeout. And he takes outside. Something tells me that if this was a postseason game that we'd be seeing Kirby out there for his 4th inning of work though, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, at that point you got to ride the hot hand and use what's working to your advantage.
But now he's just a spectator after his fabulous night from the pen and 3 shutout innings against the Tigers. And with 1 on and 1 out, again, it's a hitter's count, 2-1 as Cummer falls behind on Jarrell.
That's a good stop by Preston Lucas there. Those balls are not easy to block, especially at 90 miles an hour, just to keep that runner at third base at bay. Good job by Lucas.
Can't squeeze it that time on a pitch that almost certainly was inside with the fastball, but you certainly got no chance at getting that close call when you don't receive it well.
Yeah, not sure if he would have been granted a strike there, but sometimes that ninja will get out and kick that ball out of your glove.
As a former catcher yourself.
It happens.
Count goes full here on Jacob Jarrell. Clemson still 2 base runners away from getting the tying run to the plate here in the 9th.
Jarrell's got to be sitting fastball.
He gets one and chops it to third. A long throw coming for Armsy, and the stretch at first for Sweeney.
Man, what a stretch, what a play. Good play by Armsy to get the big hop, let it come to him. Would have loved to see him give his first baseman a little bit better of a chance to handle that, but man, what a great stretch. What a great glove work by the first baseman over there to hang on to the bag and get that out.
And with that length of throw from Armsy behind the bag at third, right, that's an intentional play to one hop it there and try and get that big hop for Sweeney to handle.
Yeah, a lot of times you want to just give him that one hop, something easy to handle, not too close to him to where it's a 50-50 chance.
Purify scores on the play to cut the lead down to 3, but Clemson is down to its final out of the night at Fifth Third Park. Upstate and out away from Andrew Cummer on the mound from picking up its first Power 5 win of the season. And they've had chances.
Yeah.
Weekend series at Texas, so close in one of those games. Played Tennessee really close. South Carolina and Clemson and Georgia got the better of them this year too. But in their final midweek of the year, they are 1 out away from an upset win over Clemson.
You got to think the adrenaline's running a little bit higher in Cummer right now, knowing that he's close to shutting the game out here for him.
Technically not a save situation, but I don't think that really matters in his brain right now.
Yeah.
He's certainly not helped himself. He's put himself in bad counts, but he's only given up the 1 run as he throws 3-1, and Gaffney rips it foul. And now Cummer, after battling back, is a strike away from slamming the door.
Upstate faithful standing up, making noise.
On a night where they were significantly outnumbered, they hope to be the final ones to cheer. 3-2. Line drive, right center field gap. Nobody's catching this one. It's to the wall. Gaffney keeps this game going with a stand-up double.
Heck of a hit.
And Clemson gets the potential tying run to the on-deck circle.
Yeah, fastball, middle away, hit it exactly where it was pitched, split the outfield, got a nice double out of it.
So now Tristan McClatty, who is 1 for 3. He doubled home the first run of the game way back in the first. And he drove in the second run of the game with a sac fly in the 5th for Clemson. He tries to reach to get Jack Crichton a chance here in the 9th. And he too starts ahead in the count 1-0. A Clemson team that scored on that RBI double from McClatty in the first to go up 1-0, and then gave up 1 in the bottom half and 4 more in the second, and has never been within 3 since until now. It's definitely the Clemson fans making the noise now.
Yeah, they weren't too happy with that, but
no.
I mean, that was an effective pitch. That's what it may have not have been a strike, but that's where he was pitching to throw it. He's trying to adjust McClatty's eyesights here.
And now Cummer is 1 more strike away again from putting this game to bed.
Cannot throw something middle zone here. It's got to be expanded.
1-2. Popped in the air, shallow right. Ritzer from second. Squeezes the final out on an Upstate upset win over Clemson.
Heck of a win for Upstate to come out here and do what they did to Clemson. Effective bullpen game from Upstate. Also Clemson, at the end of the day, Upstate had the hot inning in the second, and it worked to their advantage.
A first Power 5 win of the season for a celebratory Spartan squad at the middle of the diamond. And for Clemson, it's another blow to the heart of their NCAA tournament hopes here in 2026. It's going to be almost certainly ACC championship or bust this year for the Tigers, and a boost of momentum for Upstate as they've got 1 more weekend series, and then it's off to Asheville for the Big South tournament, where they'll be trying to defend their title from a year ago. Great to have you with us. Great to be with Luke Weber as we sign off here from Fifth Third Park. Again, it's Upstate in an upset over Clemson, 6-3. I'm Andrew Selliver saying so long, and thanks for joining us.